Hey, what up, man? What up?
What up? What up? What up?
Hey, man. Hey, man. I got a little something I want to play real quick. With just a few seconds. You think we're gonna? I don't think we're gonna get copyright.
Should be good. I mean, shit. Cause
we
they
ain't
even
we ain't monetized anyway, man.
right. So
But you know what I mean. But I got a song for all these so-called tethers out here, man. You know what I'm saying? We about to somebody about to get a beat down, man. Classic. Punks jump up to get beat down, baby. That's what we doing today, man.
I couldn't hear it.
Hey, you couldn't hear it?
No,
Oh, you know why you couldn't hear it? It wasn't coming through my speakers.
no, I didn't hear it.
You know, no, I don't. Do I gotta share it, man? Hold on, man. That's pretty good that it did. You couldn't hear it, man. I was playing it, but I think I ruined the moment.
Well, it's all good. I mean, we got the right idea.
You could hear it. I said, I think I would have to share the actual video. I don't want to do that. So, well, punks jump up to get beat down, man. Today, Tether's jumping up to get beat down. We're gonna talk about the two most famous ones uh, that vie for the highest office in the land.
Right.
One got through, and the other one we attempting to block. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm trying
Oh
to.
man. Let me see.
Oh, there. Whoa! I was looking for. I had all this stuff about her pulled up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wanted to do a show about it, and I just keep putting it off. And obviously, I ain't gonna have forever. I need to do something eventually, but um, it's an NBC video. I couldn't remember where I had it up, so now I found it because I've been looking for it because relevant to our conversation today. Considering, you know, she want to run on blackness. Everybody want to run on blackness. Everybody want us to support folks because they black and not because they doing anything for us. And so it's good to always be able to contextualize where people are in the process with us so that we don't have to worry about, you know, getting tricked again and being confused when they don't do nothing for us. So I find yeah, so if you want to share your screen or whatever, or you want to start us off, I will
okay, how we want to go down. We're gonna go ahead and talk about with the break the polls. What's happening
yeah, you
right
can do
now?
that.
You can do
Yeah,
that.
you can do it.
We'll go into that, man. All right, bet. We can break that down real quick.
I kind of already know what you're gonna. I know what you're gonna say about the polls and stuff. And I was looking at something on YouTube, but it was a link to a Twitter post, and it was saying something like, "Do you think the Democrats are really nervous or whatever about Kamala Harris or her chances? Do you really think they're nervous?" And it said she haven't been endorsed by any major union, or either the Teamsters haven't endorsed her.
Just the Teamsters haven't, but the UAW did.
It was some other things that were talking about. It was some other things that they talked about that were typical of her.
Like normal Democrats, like normally Democrats get.
That you would normally expect.
Like I think the firefighter union, you know what I'm saying, the national one didn't endorse her or what have you. They didn't do they basically didn't do Trump or her. But normally, those unions back the Democrats, and the UAW leadership did, but most of the rank and file are pretty much Trump supporters for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So but that's why that was the reason why the Teamsters, you know what I'm saying? Like the Teamsters, like we're not going to go against our union. You know what I mean? The rank and file and endorse, either candidate, right? And I believe it was the president of the teams. He actually talked at the Republican National Convention.
Yeah, he said he volunteered to speak at both. but the Democrats either rescinded their offer or
because he did the RNC. Got it. Yeah, man. So yeah. Are you hearing my wife coming through? Can you?
Yeah, but I mean, when I watch Alexander Mercouris and Alex Christoforou, man, I hear so much noise in Alexander's videos. It's dogs, it's kids in the background. It's like, look, as professional as their videos, as much views as their videos get, if they can do it, I can do it. I ain't worried about it.
I didn't know because like you could. It was crazy because you couldn't hear the brand Nubian. You couldn't hear the brand Nubian, and literally the speaker is like right here. So I was just wondering, was it coming through or not? So
they said the city of Chicago spent $80,000 to furnish and renovate the office of Brandon Johnson's wife, and so they got a picture of her up, and they go to the same barber.
Oh man.
Oh man,
that's wild. But
that's an interesting guy, bro.
Yeah,
that's an interesting guy, and I'm gonna say it that way to keep
another example of black faces in high places ain't doing. You know what I'm saying? Ain't doing nothing. Oh yeah, well, man, that's the one. You see that one with that girl from Chicago? I mean, they was in the city hall.
Oh yeah, when she was talking, the older lady,
they was like, dreads. we about to turn Chicago red. I'm like, damn, okay.
Bro,
I'm like, wow.
Look, you know it's I'm sure it's enough white people in Chicago
that they can do that.
Right.
Like Illinois might flip. Illinois might flip.
Because everything outside of Illinois, I mean, of Chicago is pretty much, conservative anyway. All that Southern Illinois, Central Illinois, you know what I'm saying?
It's not where I mean, Lincoln was from Illinois, right? Wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was a rail splitter, right? Yep. Yeah, I'm like, wow, bro. She was going ham, man. But anyway, I guess we'll get to that. So let's break this down. I'm not gonna show all of this. But you know what I'm saying? I've really been liking this guy's coverage, race report, and he's been doing it like, shoot, this came out 6 hours ago. Even has let's look at the latest.
Trump is officially back. He's once again the favorite to win the 2024 election. Momentum for Kamala Harris is starting to fizzle out, even as the Democratic National Convention begins today. Trump is on track to carry at least 270 electoral votes.
Right. No, I must have clicked the wrong thing, bro.
With the 2024 election less than a month.
Trump is officially back. He's once again the favorite to win the 2024 election. Momentum for Kamala Harris is starting to fizzle out, even as the Democratic National Convention begins today. Trump is on track to carry at least 270 electoral votes in this left-leaning forecast. Just look at what the economists predicted in 2020. Joe Biden was supposed to win 356 electoral votes. In the end, he only won 306. And so in this video, we'll be taking a look at the 2024 electoral map based on the Economist's new state-by-state ratings. We'll begin by filling in the solid states. These are states that the Economist gives either candidate at least a 99% chance at winning. These are the traditionally solid Democratic and Republican states. For Kamala Harris, she is on track to win in Washington, California, Hawaii, as well as the 1st District of Maine, New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maryland, and the District of Columbia, giving her just 137 electoral votes, with notable states being left out like Oregon, New Jersey, and Delaware. For Trump, however, he's going to easily win basically every single state. He's won by a solid margin in the last 2 elections. We have Utah, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, North and South Dakota, the state of Nebraska as a whole, as well as its 3rd congressional district, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Indiana. This gives the former president 112 electoral votes. Trump was doing very well right before Biden dropped out. However, even as Harris has entered the race, and despite all the momentum she is supposedly getting, Trump is once again the favorite. And this is according to a forecast that gave Joe Biden a 97% chance at winning the 2020 election. Yes, he did end up winning, but he won it by the narrowest of margins possible. It was 3 states decided by less than half a percentage point that ended up giving him a victory. Just 44,000 voters in 3 states were the reason why Biden ended up on top. There's no way he had a 97% chance at actually winning. So we're now going to get into the likely states for both candidates. These are states where either Harris or Trump have between an 85 to 99% chance at winning. And for Donald Trump, we're going to begin with the 2 most obvious ones, the states of South Carolina and Alaska, 2 states that Trump is probably going to win by at least 15 points this November. However, the forecast, of course, with its left-leaning bias, is going to place them into the likely column. We also have the 1st district of Nebraska. There's no doubt Trump is going to win. And just like in South Carolina and Alaska, he is going to win that district by 15 points, just like he will also do so in the 2nd district of Maine. There's no way Maine is going to be anything but solid for Trump. He's been performing really well in the polling there after first flipping the district in 2016. We also have the states of Iowa and Ohio, 2 states Trump has absolutely transformed in his 8 years in politics. Just look at these states in 2012. They voted for Obama by 3 and 6. While just 4 years later, Trump wins Ohio by 8 and Iowa by 9, where we basically saw 15-point shifts in both of these states just because Trump was on the ballot. In 2020, he did the same thing again. Joe Biden was actually supposed to win, according to the polling average in Ohio, but Trump still won by 8 points, and in Iowa, he won by nearly the same margin. These 2 states are now very much within the Republican categories. Just looking at the 2022 midterms, their governors, Kim Reynolds in Iowa and Mike DeWine in Ohio, were both elected by 20-point margins. So there's no doubt Trump is going to carry these 2 Midwestern states for a 3rd time in a row. Before we continue, only 12% of you guys are actually subscribed, so please take the time to subscribe. Joe Biden was supposed to win Florida by around 2 points, according to the polling average, but in the end, Trump actually expanded off of his 2016 margin. Florida has been shifting to the right for over a decade now, and it is firmly within the Republican column today. The state reelected its governor and one of its senators by 16 to 19-point margins in 2022, and Florida is no longer being mentioned as a swing state at all. I mean, just look back at 2012. Florida was the most competitive state in the entire election. In fact, it was the only tilt state on the map. But today, Florida is probably going to vote for Trump by a likely margin of at least 7 percentage points. Texas is also going to easily go to Donald Trump. He's going to win both of these states by 7 points, and he has nearly a 9 and 10 chance at winning in both. So a combined 7. That is just how bad of a position Democrats were in. We have the Commonwealth of Virginia, a state that is not as blue as it was 4 years ago when Joe Biden won it by 10 points. Today, Kamala Harris only has an 82% chance at winning. Yes, that's high, but Trump still has a 1 in 5 chance, and 1 in 5 odds really are not that low. And so Virginia is a state that probably could have gone to Trump if Joe Biden had stayed in the election. That is just how bad of a position Democrats were in. Now they're in a slightly better place, but still, Virginia is much closer than it was in the last election when Joe Biden had an over 90% chance at holding on to it. We have just 2 lean states for Trump, and they are going to both be found in the southeastern corner. We have North Carolina and Georgia. In North Carolina, Trump is going to hold on to it and win the Tar Heel state for a 3rd time in a row. He has a 67% chance with Roy Cooper for a couple of years. North Carolina before Democrats chance at winning, a state he carried by just 1% in the last election. Democrats have only won North Carolina once since 1976, and that was Barack Obama in 2008. But it's going to be quite a while before Democrats do it again, because yes, North Carolina has been shifting left over the past decade, but they really haven't been able to win any major statewide elections besides the governorship with Roy Cooper for a couple of years. North Carolina is going to remain in the Republican column for a little bit longer because of just how well Trump and the Republican Senate candidates have been doing in the state over the past few years. And so North Carolina is going to be lean Republican. and Georgia will be as well. This is a flip for Donald Trump. He lost Georgia by 0.24% in 2020, but he now has a it back. Just looking at how close it was in 2020 and the fact that Biden was a much stronger candidate than Harris is today, and it's pretty obvious that Trump is going to win back this state. Arizona fundamentally is still Republican. Trump won it in 2016.
To talk about Michigan.
With Wisconsin, where Kamala Harris has the slightest.
This is going to be it, bro. Wisconsin, Michigan, and PA. She got to win all three. If she lose one of those or two of them, it's over. You can call the race. You know what I'm saying? It's done.
Well, she might win Wisconsin, but I don't see her winning here.
Yeah, I don't.
I just don't see it on the ground. I don't see it.
I don't see her winning at PA either. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a high Muslim population in Philly. You know what I mean? And then Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll guarantee you that's Trump country. You know what I mean? Outside of the black people that live there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
It's basically
probably got a lot of Trump supporters in Philly that's white.
Right, exactly.
Possible lead with just a 51% chance at winning. So Wisconsin is going to be tilt blue, although in the end, it is very likely that the GOP does flip Wisconsin because Wisconsin, out of the three blue wall states, is fundamentally the most conservative. If Trump is going to win any of these three states first, it is probably going to be Wisconsin. And the one where Harris really is favored is probably Michigan, a state that Joe Biden won by 3 points. Michigan tends to be more liberal than its two neighbors, and according to the Economist forecast, Harris has a 58% chance at holding on to the Wolverine state. I mean, this really is a very...
Don't agree with that analysis.
Right. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. I just feel like people aren't going to the places like Dearborn specifically and talking to those people. They're not voting for her.
Right.
And that was an important voter block for her, for Joe Biden to win in 2020.
Right, dude. If you don't, I mean,
going to Hamtramck and
Hamtramck, Dearborn, you know what I'm saying? Probably places in Troy, you know what I mean? You know, that demographic, because I doubt the Indians going to be voting for her in Troy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some, but I guarantee you most of them are going to be voting Republican. Yeah, bro. And then I think the city's going to have a low voter turnout. I really don't think it's going to be a lot. You know what I'm saying? I think
it's going to be your typical that the Trump supporters or the Republicans come out. So you'll have a lot of, if they're going to vote for Trump, they'll go vote.
Yeah.
And if they're not, that's what I was telling somebody earlier today. I just think the voter turnout in the city and it really, so black voter turnout overall in the state is going to be low.
When was she in Detroit? Like, she's been to Flint. She's been to Southfield. When did she do anything inside of the city limits? Like, I haven't seen her.
Wow. I know she did something. She did some kind of thing on like 7 Mile a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, like around Livernois area.
That hurt Clinton last time. She didn't come to the city. You know what I'm saying? Like, like
I might be remembering it wrong, but I believe she did something. I can look it up.
I don't think she done nothing at Cobo or Huntington or whatever. Nothing downtown.
No, I don't think it's nothing like that.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Yes, she did do something downtown. That's when the Palestinians came out and they heckled her, and I think that was at Old Cobo. I want to say that was at Old Cobo where the Palestinians heckled her, and she was like, you know, if you want Trump to win, and if not,
I'm speaking.
If you,
yeah.
He used that line against her in the debate. So Trump used that line against her in the debate or whatever when she was interrupting her. I want to say that was at Cobo or at the Old Cobo. I want to say, I will have to look it up, but outside that was a while ago. So you know,
she haven't done nothing recent, but her birthday.
And you know what I'm saying? NAACP had Biden come through, right? Then they give Biden something.
But they're having a dinner on the 20th, the NAACP, and that's her birthday. So I'm curious.
Is she going to show up?
I don't know. As far as I know, she's not announced as a speaker or a guest.
Right, like, you know what I mean? Like, that just kind of kills. That just surprises me, man. Like, how little of respect she saw in the city, because you know what I mean? Because I guarantee you, why not? Because you know what I mean. I think she's trying to stay away from anything where she can get heckled. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I think she's trying to stay away from certain type of crowds. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like she's not trying to be with anything where there's real people. It'll be, you know, like city people, like hood people. You know what I mean? You know, or more street people, where your regular working class. Like she's going around all of the, you know, like the groups, the unions. You know what I'm saying? You know, the safe places for her to go. You know what I'm saying? But like for her to do something like, you know, somewhere like at a church. You know, she hasn't gone to the ministers. That's a huge political block here in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I
like, you know
mean,
what I mean? She hasn't done. You know, when Joe Biden he was showing up in you know all of the churches here in Detroit when he ran.
Even Trump has a black preacher outreach.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I think that's also just her. I think that shows her detachment from the community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even as an outsider, she's detached.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't even have advisors who can tell her, hey, you should probably consider doing this.
Yeah, why are you not meeting with the church people? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Minister, bro. Like, you know what I mean? All these mega churches.
Important state for the vice president. If she loses Michigan, she has just a 9% chance at winning the election. I mean, even without Arizona, she has just a 28% chance. And the final state we're going to fill in is the Keystone State of Pennsylvania. People have been talking about it a lot. Pennsylvania is the key to victory for both candidates. Harris cannot win without Pennsylvania. If Trump wins Pennsylvania, he's basically guaranteed to win the election, because with Pennsylvania, he doesn't need either Nevada or Georgia and can still be at 270. That is just how important the state is going to be, just like it was in 2020. Pennsylvania was a state that got Joe Biden over that 270 electoral vote threshold. And today, Donald Trump is the favorite once again to win in the state. He has a 53% chance at winning. And without Pennsylvania, Harris's odds drop down to just 13%. So the state is going to be tilt Republican, with Trump slightly favored. And so this is the 2024 electoral map based on The Economist's new forecast. Trump has retaken the lead. He has surged back to being ahead. Momentum for Kamala Harris is starting to die down. Trump is on track to win 287 electoral votes. Kamala Harris at just 251. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel right now for more content like this leading up to the election in November.
Bro, so that's saying, you know, 251 to 287. We'll see on November 5th if that's the case. But I'm really thinking she's gonna lose Michigan, and so that would make it even more. You know what I mean? You know, and maybe, you know, West, if she loses Michigan, and like I said, she loses all three. You know what I mean? Would that be considered a landslide if he gets 300?
Well, I think it could be, but I think they look at, like, who was it, McGovern, when he went against Nixon. I think McGovern didn't even win Minnesota, or either he only won Minnesota or something. Like, he only won like 2 states.
That's good. Yeah,
Reagan, yeah. I think Reagan's first election, he won some ridiculous amount of states. So I don't know. I don't know if they probably wouldn't try to characterize it as a landslide.
Right. But he'll definitely have a mandate.
But I think the thing too that a lot of people are discounting, and I think this is real, is how many people are going to vote for Trump who still don't feel comfortable to tell people they're voting for Trump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even the people who say,
he undervotes. That's what everyone's saying. Like, first and foremost, it's so close, so it's already in a margin of error. You know what I mean? Because the margin of error is 3%. And when, you know, in a lot of these states, you know what I'm saying, she's only winning by like 1%. Some of these states, she's only winning by 1%, less than that. So she's, you know what I'm saying, within the margin of error. On top of, you look at the fact that he underpolls. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, some places, like dude was saying, you know, 7, 8, 9%. You know what I mean? Compared to what they said previously and what happened. So, you know, he could actually be having a way higher lead there right now than what the polls are dictating.
Yeah, like
you just did.
It's at the point for me where I feel like if a person says, you know, I don't know who I'm voting for, this late in the game, that they're leading Trump at the very least.
Trump, yeah.
And if a person says that they kind of like Trump, they're definitely voting for Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like anything, because he's such a toxic entity. that if you would even say anything, and I have that issue. We've already talked about that. That we're both looking at the Green Party.
Right.
I just trying to be objective
and
dispel some of the lies and the inconsistencies when people are talking about Trump. Because I mean, there are legitimate issues to have with Trump that you can come up with. But the Democratic Party won't talk about those because then it would implicate them too. So they have to make up all these caricatures of him being a fascist, even though they're a fascist organization as well, because they can't speak the truth, because the truth is, like I said, they're condemned by the same truth. So
I mean, Obama just recently, are you going to cover the video with him admonishing black men?
Yeah, black men. I got it.
Right. You got the video, but in that speech, he called Trump a communist. He compared Trump or analogized Trump to Castro, and so did Mark Cuban. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all coming up with like weird, analogies, like just like Trump saying Kamala Harris is a leftist when she's not. You know what I mean? I mean, it's on both sides. The whole Project 2025 shit, like that's a complete fucking, you know what I'm saying? Lie that Trump is behind that. Yes, he had people from his administration work on that document. Yes, but that's not his plan. His plan is, 47. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's where he spells it out. Like for them to continuously repeat, rinse, wash, and repeat this whole 2025 boogeyman. You know what I mean? And all the things in it, and commercials and stuff like that. Like you are as bad as the Republicans when they come up with their crazy, smears and attacks against Democrats. You know what I'm saying? When they're nothing like that. To call Harris a freaking commie or a socialist or a Marxist, to me is to socialist and Marxist. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing I tell people. Like, you can't look at the history, and that's what I think. Those words bog people down, and I think it's unhelpful in the long run, because what people are really trying to say is they're authoritarian, and anybody can be authoritarian.
Right.
You don't have authoritarian capitalist. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what happened. Oh, like, that's not communism. I haven't done, extensive where I would consider myself like some expert on Marxism or whatever. But like, that's not communism.
No, it's not.
You know what I'm saying? These people are completely market-oriented individuals. Their political their economic policies are completely owned and operated by Wall Street. There's no way you telling me these people is communists. Like, if you want to tell me they're authoritarian, say that. But like, completely misconstrue this. To people who understand what the words mean, it's laughable. It shows that you have no credibility in what you're actually arguing about. You just want to say something that's, like when everybody want to call people Hitlers and stuff when you have any criticisms of Israel. It shows that you don't actually have an argument. You're not operating in good faith. You're just trying to smear somebody in the quickest possible way. And this is one of the quickest ways to do it. So, it's all silliness to me. But yeah, I got that Obama video. I just got the one where he's in the campaign headquarters. I'll pull it up. And then we can check it out.
I'm going to go ahead and just speak some truths, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now,
it's 5 minutes, so. But it's like, this is the thing he don't get because he ain't black either. But
I mean, that was a historical run, bro.
It was historical,
right?
And it was historically bad for our community,
right? At the same time,
so you don't have any credibility. You know what I'm saying? It would be different if Obama became president and black life got better, and it was just unequivocally everybody. I mean, you know, it was like the sun had risen on America.
Right.
But that wasn't the case. You know, black homeownership, we talked about it. Black homeownership rates fell to like Jim Crow era numbers, like prior to the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Black
Obama.
wealth decreased. Yeah, black wealth decreased under his term. You know what I'm saying?
And so when you have a situation like that, where the quality of life of black people is worse as a result of having a quote unquote black president, like, why would we care for that to happen again? Like, you have some people who, and you know, like I said in the last show, I don't like to do ad hominems, but when they fit, I just have to, you know, forgive me. But we have people like who's have brain rot or whatever, and they'll just do whatever anybody says because they can't think critically for themselves. Then yeah, some of them people will support Barack Obama or even care to hear what he has to say. But like, literally, you had a super majority in Congress, could have passed any legislation you wanted to for 2 years and didn't. And he always tried to couch this whole thing in bipartisanship. And that was, you know, I was 20 when he won. So I'm just trying to, not having a full grasp of the political process. I'm sitting there thinking like, he's just trying to be overly cautious and overly conciliatory because he wants to show to America that he's trying his best. And he wants to prove that the Republicans are really the obstructionists who don't care. That ain't what it was. You know what I'm saying? Legitimately, it was just a matter of him being able to say, look, I tried, like all his little minions will say online. He only had a supermajority for like 9 months because Ted Kennedy died and blah, blah, blah. Did they replace Ted Kennedy with a Republican? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it was talking about somebody else, you know, got voted out. Like, they keep trying to make all these excuses about how he didn't have a supermajority.
He's not the president. He's not the president just of Black America. He's the president of all America. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, he ran away from all of it, man. Like, you know, like he knew what he was doing, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, today somebody made a good analysis. He ran on hope and change, and all he did was brought more of the same. Wall Street was bailed out. You know what I mean? You know, nobody
Citigroup literally picked his cabinet.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yup,
that, and you know what I mean? You know, Libya happened on his watch. You know, Syria happened on his watch.
Somalia.
You know? Huh?
Bombing Somalia.
Right. You know what I mean?
He went from Bush was bombing 2 countries. Obama ended up, when we finished with him, he was bombing 5. He dropped so many bombs. The United States government ran out of bombs. He dropped so many bombs. He killed a U.S. citizen with a Reaper.
Exactly. U.S. citizen. No judicial process, man. No due process, bro. You just assassinate based on accusations. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to go to court. You know, when you a U.S. citizen. You know what I mean? I get it. He was of Yemeni descent. You know what I'm saying? But he was still a U.S. citizen.
American.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Even if you get accused of being a terrorist, you're supposed to be able to go to court as an American.
As a court, exactly. You shouldn't have been considered I forgot what they used to call a combatant or something like that. You know what I mean? Like non-nation state combatant. They used to have a term for. They had a term for. You know, that was all. You know, he just basically he continued on the Patriot Act. He continued on. You know, he ran on closing Guantanamo Bay. That didn't happen on his watch. You know what I'm saying? Torture and all that shit was still going on during his watch. You know what I mean? It's, you know, I was thoroughly like freaking, you know what I'm saying? You know, by the end, by 2016, dude, you know what I mean? Like, because I still voted for him in 2012. I had, you know what I'm saying? I still was for him or what have you. But then as more things kept coming out and out and out, you know what I mean? By the time it was for Clinton to come up, and of course, you know what I'm saying? It was like, you know, they just was gonna bless it. They was like, well, you know, she sat out her term. Well, she had to be forced to give Obama just straight out won. You know, because remember, she drugged that shit out for a long time, that damn primary.
And there was a lot of funny stuff she tried to do during the primary.
A lot of people said that it was the Clintons that was behind Trump and our birther shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nobody ever talks about that. They want to always just talk about he brought up the birther. He, you know, from my understanding, he was doing it on the behalf of the Clintons. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So like, because Trump was a Democrat and was in Democratic circles. You know what I mean? He donated to him. He was cool with
He didn't become a Republican until 2016.
Right. Well, you know what I'm saying? We felt like, hey, that was the best bet for him to run under. Because he would have been laughed out of Democratic circles. You know what I'm saying? But him as a personality and thing, anyways, we don't got to redocument all of it. But it's just we're just showing you, for all those who always levy, oh, why don't y'all say something about Trump? Why don't y'all, that's another knee-jerk, politically naive, you know what I'm saying, statement, and it shows me that you have no political gravitas at all. When that's the first thing that you come back with when someone is criticizing, you know what I'm saying, the Democrats or what have you. Because just like you stated, Stedman, well, are you voting for Trump? No. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So if you're not voting for Trump, what's the point of me even talking bad about Trump? But who you are voting for or leaning towards are the Democrats. And I need to prove to you how, hey, listen, they ain't really no better than freaking what they, you know what I'm saying, Trump. And I can show you quantitative, you know what I'm saying, real world examples and plenty of them of why they're actually worse. Because in this case, as Malcolm X said, the Democrats are the fox and the Republicans are the wolves. I much rather I much rather know the wolf and he presents himself as a wolf than I'm dealing with a fox who's presenting himself as cuddly, nice, and then, you know what I'm saying, only waiting to, you know what I'm saying, bite me up, maybe not as severe as a wolf would, but nonetheless, you like I said, you could die from 1,000 cuts, right? You know what I mean? Right. Death by 1,000 cuts. And that's basically what the Democrats have been doing to us. You know what I mean? Small little incremental crumbs, but all in all, we're freaking dying as a people. You know what I'm saying? Because we've never gotten that redress, truthfully, that we actually deserve and need. And is only being used for everyone else to get their comeuppance, you know what I'm saying, which was supposed to be for us. You know what I'm saying? And so the only way to break that cycle is to not vote for them and make them lose. You know what I mean? And if it's, you know what I'm saying? And if this, listen, we've been talking about this well before the Palestinians got up on this. Me and Stedman have been talking about this back since 2020. You know what I mean? And we were firmly, I remember we on when I think we did our analysis of what happened to Cosby, right? And that was one of the things I'm saying, like, they got to lose. They have to lose this freaking election because only thing they're gonna do is like, okay, we got him, we're gonna run this, the playbook is running. Why, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like in football, hey, you can know what I'm about to do, but if you can't stop me from doing it, you know what I'm saying? So what? If you know what I'm saying, if you know I'm about to run this ball down your throat, you know what I mean? Stop me from running and maybe do something else.
I also want to say that
okay. No, my earbud hit. But yeah, I keep playing it, but my earbud hit, so it played.
Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, everything you said is exactly true. So let's see.
Yep.
Seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to you.
But even that saying the brothers is more pronounced with the brothers. Like, what are you talking about? What puts you in a position where you're able to talk to us in this manner, right? Like I have said, culturally, Barack Obama is a white man.
Mm-hmm.
He was raised by his grandparents because his mama had remarried and moved to Java or something, or Indonesia or whatever.
Yeah.
What gives you any ability or credibility or whatever to speak to us this way? Because you lived in a black neighborhood, right? Because you go to Chicago and go to Hyde Park. Hyde Park don't look like the South Side. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It don't look like the South Side. When you think of the South Side of Chicago, you're not thinking of Hyde Park. You see what I'm saying? Because you got a black wife. Yeah, she might be from the South Side of Chicago, but guess what? You met her at Princeton, or you met her at Harvard.
Right. You didn't meet her in a black space.
Yeah.
You know what
like
I'm saying?
This is what do they call that? Paternalism.
Mm-hmm.
That paternalistic way he always talks to black men.
Mm-hmm.
He did it when he was president.
Yep.
Even the policy, my brother's keeper. That was BS. Mm-hmm. We want real policy. We wanted real action. We wanted something for us. The same way you could go out and light up the White House with the rainbow flag. We wanted something done for us.
Right.
You know, and the rainbow lighting up the White House as a rainbow was to signify a policy change had been made in this country. That wasn't it.
You're right.
If the LGBT community had got a rainbow White House and was still getting beat over the head, I guarantee you they would not be voting for this man.
Yep.
To y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain.
Now this is rich coming from a man who did not go to a HBCU, who tried to marry a white woman, didn't he try to marry an Asian woman too?
I'm not for sure about that, but it wouldn't surprise me. You know,
I know he tried to marry a white chick, and then he was dating this white chick, and he said if he ever wants a career in politics, he has to have a black wife.
At least he was he knew that. You know, but you know what I'm saying? But you know, but that's how the calculation of these type of people, her and him and Kamala, they the same person, but just she don't have the chops. You know, Obama is a political freaking savant. You know what I mean? He's a his knowledge, his ability to speak, his ability to to comprehend, is superb about about him, and that's how he rose as fast as he did. You know what I'm saying? Because people like Kamala and him, they've been wanting this since the time that they were probably, at least middle school. You know what I mean?
That's what I was saying. I believe Kamala would have tried to be the prime minister of Canada if she had legal Canadian citizenship.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Natural born Canadian, but she didn't have it.
Right.
Come back here.
You're right. Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought that a lot.
Like they knew their trajectory. They knew their trajectory, bro. And like I said, you make a calculated decision like that to say, oh yes, you know what I'm saying? I know. He had his heartbeat at least close enough to the ground to understand that like that's not gonna go over with black women. You know what I'm saying? Brothers ain't gonna really say as much, but he knew that, you know what I'm saying? But he knew that black women would never accept him, you know what I mean? Having a white wife or any other type of white, even another minority, you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't embrace him as much. I mean, who knows how he may even, you know what I'm saying, even phenotypically, the type of way Michelle looked, you know what I mean, versus like if he had gotten with like a what's our girl that's Damon Dash's cousin.
Oh, Stacey Dash.
Like a Stacey Dash. Like even if he like if he had
Amber Rose or something.
Or Amber Rose or Stacey Dash or you know what I'm saying, that type of black chick, you know what I mean? Like, nope, it would have been light skin privilege, you know what I'm saying? Like I guarantee you he calculated like I gotta get me phenotypically 100%, you know what I'm saying, sharecropper lineage type of black chick. You know what I'm saying? Like for real.
See, and that's the thing. These people, like you're saying, they have like a psychopathic or sociopathic desire when it comes to curating their future plans that the average person don't. The average person just goes through life living. Even when we raise our kids, we might teach our kid, but you do what you feel passionate about. You do what you. These people are like psychopathically attached to their future prospects, and so even I rewound it a little bit, but even like what he's talking about, because he's talking about Kamala here,
right, which none of this shit is true. Like absolutely none of it.
Making a hard choice. She went to the same schools as you.
She know you. No. That chick, you know what I'm saying? She don't know us at all. And that's proof by all the stuff that she's done. You know what I'm saying? She really don't know us.
If like I said, when I was at Morehouse, a white guy graduated as a valedictorian my freshman year. So that's not a prerequisite that you got to be black to go to a HBCU. Exactly. That's not a prerequisite.
Right.
If anything, white people were the more likely to get financial aid.
Right.
Because they were a minority at the school.
Mm-hmm.
But we had people, my wife went to Spelman. We had people there at Spelman. A chick was from like the Czech Republic or whatever. It was a couple white chicks that was there. Right. So this whole idea that somehow going to an HBCU, which he didn't do, or pledging a sorority or fraternity black which he didn't do.
Right.
Makes you somehow more in tune with blackness. Like you don't have a whole bunch of sellouts and Toms and Coons and whatever who go to black colleges is just ridiculous.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean,
but then
most of the administration isn't most of it African?
Or
a good portion.
I don't know about all the schools. At Morehouse, it wasn't that way. They weren't mostly African. A lot of them seemed like they was from Georgia at Morehouse. But I mean, at this point, there are a lot of people who are African that work in there. They may be, first generation Americans or second generation, but yeah, you do have a lot of them in the administration and stuff.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Like they might be in what you call it, admissions or whatever. But then if she knows black men so well, where's her black husband at?
Right.
You went to a HBCU, you pledged a black sorority, and you couldn't find a black man to marry? What none at Howard? What none in your sorority, in your fraternity groups that you could have got with? Because I know Willie Brown is an alpha. I don't know if Montel Williams was any kind of fraternity.
He was a Navy man. So
yeah,
I think he was enlisted. I don't think Montel Williams was an officer. But I can go look. In fact, I am going to look that up. I think he was.
You know what I'm saying? You couldn't find nobody black to marry. You had to marry somebody on one of them. It might have been Due Dissonance. Said she married her APAC handler. Call him Tim.
We covered low. No, I'm sorry. He was an officer. Yeah, but he went to the Naval Academy Preparatory School, and he was accepted as the first black Marine into the 4-year officer training program at the U.S. Naval Academy. So yeah, he was he was. My bad. I made the mistake of saying he was enlisted, but no, he was actually an officer. But yeah, he was an officer. So yeah, he definitely wasn't pledging no damn. I doubt it. Let me look through here. I don't see no affiliations. I don't think they got any chapters at the Naval Academy. But go ahead.
But you see what I'm saying? You keep trying to drop the Democratic Party is trying to make some connection or insinuate some kind of connection to the black community. Even the people he's talking to. You're talking to people at a campaign headquarters. You're not talking to a community.
Right.
You know why? Because a community wouldn't listen to you. All these guys in these too tight pants and these too tight suit jackets and these too tight shirts and these shoes with the pointy toes on them is the kind of people you need to be talking to. They all look like they got some kind of first generation American background. And they sit there, you could sit there and talk to them like dogs because they don't have no leg to stand on. But you couldn't talk to me like that. You couldn't sit in the room and talk to us like that. What have you done that you have the right to say anything to black men about how we should feel or who we should vote for?
Right.
How has the condition of black people in this country improved after a Barack Obama? And this is the thing, because I always want to say Republican. If anything Barack Obama did for black people, for black men or whatever, was so fragile, so inconsequential, that within 4 years of his term in office, it's undiscernible. It was no good. As I said, the LGBT, they can get married in 2012 with that Supreme Court ruling. They can still get married in 2024.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Whatever gains other groups have made as a result of the Barack Obama presidency, they still seeing the effects of those gains right now. But black men, the black community, whether black women want to say it or not, it's still on the bottom.
Right.
And I don't have to listen to you. I don't have to listen to you at all. Well, here, I rewound it. So let me hear this again.
Let me go ahead. Yep.
Understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences. Who's had to work harder.
You can look at his eyes and see he don't even know what the hell he's talking about. He's just saying shit. You know what I'm saying? He's literally, he's not making any sense. The thing that he's able to do is sell it. That, like you said, he has a political acumen that you don't really find in a lot of these people because they're so isolated. A lot of them come from really well-to-do families and they don't interact with regular people. So they don't really know how to talk to regular people. He's good at faking it. Or either he's had enough interactions with the the common people to be able to replicate what he's seen. But even when he's talking now, what are you talking about?
And do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land, and is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities, from housing to making sure that our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents can afford medicine. And
achieve the second highest. You get selected for that shit.
Like he did something.
You get selected for that. You don't even have to be running in the presidential race to get selected as VP. JD Vance wasn't even fucking running in nothing. He just got selected. Ain't just pick. It's a popularity contest. You know what I'm saying? Or a calculation
They literally
contest.
pick to see who's the best strategic option available.
Right. They would achieve what? No, only one you could possibly say that achieved anything about her getting out being a VP is the Boule. The Boule pressured Biden enough to where he felt he had to be conciliatory toward black people because of South Carolina for what Clyburn did. Maybe he achieved some shit. Maybe he achieved that for her, but not her. Nobody, this chick dropped out of the presidential race before it even started. No one has cast a ballot for freaking Kamala freaking Harris, man. Nobody. Zero for a ballot for presidential primary. Nobody has. She didn't earn shit. What are you talking about? Achieve. No, you get selected for that. And that's a political calculation. The VP, and why? The VP don't do shit. And nothing. Besides ceremonial stuff. And then she was sidelined by Biden himself and people in his administration. And then the fact that she even agreed to, hold on, she was the one to term Jim Crow Joe. And I just told you how flipsy and floppy she is. When she, in the presidential debate, she was one of the hardest to come at him. You know what I'm saying? That just shows you that shit was just for show, because guess what? She was when the opportunity arose, she took it.
Well, even Stephen Colbert asked her about that. Stephen Colbert interviewed her. You had a really fiery debate. How did how do you move on from that? And she was like, it was a debate. Ha! Like, just to basically say, I have no morals, I have no values or ethics.
No principle.
Nothing means anything so long as it helps me to move my career along. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is.
Exactly. If that means being, right of the Republicans to show that I'm the top cop, right? I'm the top this, and if that means putting my boot on black people's necks, so be it. I'm gonna create legislation that's prejudicial. You know what I mean, to black people, all to make a name for myself, to show that, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I don't play. You know what I mean? You can't give me that term. You can't, say that I'm soft and weak, and it don't matter because they doing it any goddamn way, even though it's not based on fact at all. You know what I'm saying? But this chick was willing to do damage, knew she was doing damage. You know what I'm saying? Knew all of the carnage that she was going to, lay in the wake of it, all for political gain. Like, bro, like to me, man, I'm sorry, she ain't no less calculated than Trump. Like, worse, because the shit that she did really fucked people over. You know what I'm saying? People, real lives was fucked up behind that. You know what I'm saying? And whenever y'all come back talking about Trump with the Central Park 5, you come back talking about his daddy was KKK and all of that, and was a part of the KKK. When all, like, bro, that's like surface level shit compared to like real people getting cases. If you've never been in the freaking court system and understand when you getting overly prosecuted or persecuted or prosecuted, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Your life is in the balance, bro. I've been there, so I fucking know, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I was getting overcharged for some shit, but it was like, hey, nigga, we gonna try to get you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And you know, bro, that's real. That's real people, real lives that you touching, real freedom. Taking, you know what I'm saying? Keeping motherfuckers locked up just so you can have a workforce. You know what I'm saying? Like that's diabolical. Nigga, that is slavery. Like what the fuck are you talking
That's
about?
literally what it is.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like
the Supreme Court said you had unconstitutional overcrowding in prisons, and you say, well, we need them to fight fires and stuff, and you argue to keep them in. And that's the thing, man. People try to make excuses for her, you know, even with the death penalty, with that Kevin, like I said, I think his name was Kevin Cooper, where, you know, with the whole death penalty, oh, well, you know, the state supported the death penalty, because she argued like that somebody challenged California's death penalty, and she argued for it, and they tried to say, well, you know, it's because she, you know, her job as attorney general, she had to argue.
No, you don't.
You don't, because she did it when somebody was. She did it for like sex changes in prison.
Right.
She argued that the state didn't support it. She argued publicly that they should, and then she privately went either to the warden of the prison or to a judge and told him that they needed to provide the sex changes for prisoners. This was, she was attorney. So miss me with all that, trying to make excuses. Y'all just keep, every time there's a reason why they can't do nothing for black people, and a reason why they can always do something for everybody else. I'm tired of it. I'm done with it. If you can't start figuring a way to do something for us, we done. It's over with. It's finished.
Yeah,
that get along without us.
Hey man, you know what I'm saying? Like, and like, portions of Black America are finally waking up to that. Are finally waking up to it, man, and it's driving them crazy, bro. Because it's like, oh, okay, we're losing our captive audience. You know what I mean? We're losing our captive audience, or what have you. And man, what was it, bro? I just saw something earlier today that was where a chick was like, she can't believe how many black Republicans are out there, man. Where is it? I'm gonna find it. We can definitely. Yeah, I meant to talk about that today. Let me go on my history list. I had it up, man. She was confounded. She was like, I can't believe that it's, you know, there's all these black Republicans coming up out of nowhere.
And you know what? I might not agree with majority of even what black Republicans believe. I'm not saying that I necessarily disagree with the majority. I'm just saying, let's say I disagree with 90% of what they saying. They still got the right to the freedom to think and whatever they think. You know what I'm saying? They're not bound to be Democrats just because whatever you think.
Right.
They free people, ain't they?
Exactly.
Because truthfully, I don't support neither one of these parties. So how am I supposed to feel with you then, Democrat?
Right. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy to me. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
No, you can go ahead. I had pushed the button. It's a delay.
Go ahead. No, you got it, man. Go. And I'm still looking for this.
Making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high and rents that are too high, and are committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act. So everybody's got health care and cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person. And you're thinking about sitting out? I'm not. But, you know, Cousin Pookie might be. And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses.
Man. Yo, that's offensive as hell to me. I don't have no cousin Pookies. I don't know nobody named Pookie. The only Pookie I ever heard of was in New Jack City.
Right, that's true.
What I'm saying? I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
I've never met a person whose nickname was Pookie ever.
Right, but he's reinforcing that stereotype himself. That, like, you know what I mean? You know, but everything. I'm sorry, but everything that he just stated, that he just said about Trump, you can apply to Kamala Harris, and even more so, is more diabolical. You know what I mean? And you know, that's the part that just trips me the hell out, is that everything you just said harming our communities. Like, honestly, that's why they never bring up specifics. They just say something. Whereas I can tell you, I believe that Kamala has harmed our community. And then I'll say, she did this as the DA. She did this as Attorney General. She did this. We can point to this. We can point to that. The comment, oh, I'm not only do something only specific for Black people. You know what I mean? It's so many different, Layla, come on now. There's so many different things that we can live. And notice, the only response that comes back from people from those who are, you know, vote blue no matter who. Well, why aren't you saying that about Trump? Like, that's the only, because you can't defend it. You can't defend it, bro. Like, when you literally put you know, really just slap dab, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing. You know, or what they say is just so comical. It's like it's not even on the same plane. Like, you know, like somebody had said to me in a Facebook comment, well, his what was it? His opportunity zones will hurt Black people. No, it didn't hurt Black people. Just Black people didn't benefit it from. But guess what? She just explained to you how she wasn't gonna do nothing specifically for Black people. That's the same shit to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's like the
same race neutral or race.
Right. You know what I mean?
Even the whole opportunity economy. What's the
like difference? You get off of that? You know what I'm saying? Like it's in the same lane. You know what I mean? You talking about quote unquote giving a tax rebate for small business, not making sure that there's money for people to go apply for a small business loan through the SBA, and we're going to increase the SBA's budget so we can give out and create and direct, you know what I'm saying, and help people create business plans, things of that nature. There's groups out here that do that. There's a group here in Detroit called Prosper Us that literally will train you for about almost a month or plus. You know what I'm saying? Teach you how to create your business plan. Make sure you get you connected to small business finance and the whole thing. You know what I mean? I don't hear that type of stuff at all. You're talking about you get a tax credit. Well, first and foremost, you got to have the money in the business. You have to get all out on your own, and then maybe you'll get a tax credit at the end of it once you, if you were able to get the funding to even get it off the ground to begin with. And she said, and guess what? That was for new businesses, not existing businesses, right? So there's already existing Black businesses, right? And we already know they have the least access to capital. You don't hear anything talking about, I'm going to make sure that there's capital going to established Black businesses, right? Is to make sure they're on the same level playing field with everybody else. I'm going to ensure that happens to the existing Black businesses here on the ground. You don't hear this shit because it's all make-believe and BS. You know what I'm saying? That's it. The $6,000 child credit. Guess what? I got it too. We wouldn't be eligible for that. She's 2. She's been here already. It's only for newborns. We wouldn't get that $6,000 tax credit. That's not gonna happen for her. Sorry. You know what I mean? So like when you start tearing into the shit, it's all smoke and mirrors. But y'all motherfuckers don't, you know what I'm saying? Y'all concrete. He just said that she had a concrete. A YouTuber here in this basement in Detroit was able to go through 2 of the 3 major points that she brings up. They don't tell you about, again, another thing they lie about. You know what I'm saying? Like I explained in a couple of other shows, like, no, guess what? The tax cuts, that was multiple tax brackets that received relief that got their taxes went down up until 2025, right? I myself benefited from that. I was getting less taken out of my check. Standard deduction went up. That means that when you do your adjusted gross income, that's what happened. You have your gross income, and then you could use the standard deduction, or you could choose the itemized. That depends. If you have more itemizations than a standard deduction. But most people don't have that many things to itemize, especially if you're not a small business or something to that effect, right? So most of the time, it's better just to use the standard deduction. That ends up getting your adjusted gross income. The lower that is, that's when you either you're gonna have a tax check come out, or you're gonna have to pay a tax check depending on how much taxes you pay throughout the year. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not the government took out too much or they took out too little. Okay. Well, when that standard deduction went up, guess what? Your adjusted gross income went down. That impacted everybody. Everybody got that. And that's gonna expire in 2025. So if you let that expire, what's gonna happen? Your tax liability is gonna fucking go up. But motherfuckers don't know shit, bro. They ain't fucking educated, and they sit up here and say all this dumb shit and don't know nothing. And then want to turn around and say that we don't fucking know what the fuck we talking about.
Well said. I'm gonna finish this out. I mean, it's maddening.
Standard deduction went in double, dog. Individual 7,000, family 14,000. Double. And I ain't no fan of Trump, but that's the reality. These motherfuckers are lying to you just like the Republicans lie and say that, oh, you know what I mean? All this far left Marxist shit. It's the same shit, bro. The same fucking lies, dumbed down lies, because they know the most people ain't political. They ain't like me and you, dog. That freaking, I've been a political animal since the time I was fucking 13. But most people don't know how all this shit works in and out. And so they placate on people's ignorance. And so to me, the worst one is the ones who's placating the most. And for our people, it's the fucking Democrats, not the Republicans. It's the Democrats. All right, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you good. You good.
I've got a problem with that. Because part of it makes me think, I'm speaking to men directly, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other...
Miss me.
With that bullshit.
Yeah, miss me. That's, if that's all you got to say, and I'm sure there's not an insignificant amount of people who feel that way. Women too.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's all you got to hang your hat on, is that people aren't going to vote for me because I'm a woman, why are you a senator? You telling me every man in San Francisco and in California loves women unequivocally? They love women. They're just paragons of equality and virtue. Men in California. The men who voted for you to be the attorney general, the state senator, the men in San Francisco who voted for you to be the DA. Why did people vote for you to be vice president? If men in America hate you so much, or they hate the idea of you as a woman having any political power, why did you just stay home and not run for office? This is the same way that Hillary Clinton did with all that Russiagate stuff. She was trying to cover the bases because ultimately they have to admit that they're losers as a people, and they ran a losing campaign where nobody actually supported what they were talking about. And Obama can't do that. That's why he's not taking any blame for the way his presidency played out. He had 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
He did nothing for black people, nothing measurable. Whenever you say, what did he do for black men? The only thing you ever hear is my brother's keeper. That's it. And to this day, I don't know what it was or what it was supposed to be. Was it a big brother, big sister program? What was it? Because I don't know.
In fact, let me research, because I think they dismantled it, because I think it was being challenged over the fact that women weren't included, and I think it never even got off the ground. But go ahead, play it, bro, because we got a lot of other stuff to go, and We already
other alternatives and other reasons for that. And I think anybody you are talking to in a barbershop, anybody you are talking to in your house, in your family, at church, who is coming with that kind of attitude, I think you have to ask them, well, how can that be? Because the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time. They've been raising us and working and having our backs.
His mom is white, his grandma is white.
When we get in trouble and the system's not working for us, they're the ones who are out there marching and protesting. And so now
when a system that he didn't correct, Trayvon Martin murdered under his presidency, Mike Brown murdered under his presidency, Alton Sterling, if I'm not mistaken, murdered under his presidency.
Oh yeah, all of them.
Eric Garner murdered under his presidency. Okay, so marching for us in a system that you didn't correct as president, in a system where you signed the Blue Lives Matter bill, in a system where you had the National Guard come out and harass protesters. Freddie Gray in Baltimore was under his presidency. Okay, I don't want to hear that. Raynisha McBride, now that wasn't a police officer. If I'm not mistaken, that was here in Dearborn. That girl who, remember, she had like her tire went flat and she knocked on her neighbor's door.
Yeah. She was she knocked on somebody's door. Yeah, because I think it was she was Inkster, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I believe, she was trying to get some help, and they shot her through the door. The guy shot her through the door, right?
So don't talk to me about marching in the street, because again, if you had seen, if you had even had if it had been insinuated that somebody from an LGBT community had been killed, especially white, with any type of a frequency like what you saw or what you continue to see or what is insinuated to happen with the black community, that would have stopped. There would have been made a special group, because that Groove nightclub shooting happened. And they was trying to make that a hate crime. Then it came out the dude might have been in the closet or something. So, but this is what I'm trying to say. He's full of hot air. This is why the name of this channel, the name of this episode is what it is. Because F them both. And I'm trying to be polite.
You're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down.
I'm going to just be 100% honest. It's only a couple seconds left. No man in that room looks like they have any clue about what the average man thinks a man looks like. I didn't even know they made legging trousers, but every man in here looks like he's wearing a legging suit or leggings trousers. Okay. But this is the kind of, like I said, paternalistic talk that we got out of him for 8 years as president. No help, no change, no hope, but paternalism. The banks got bailed out. The companies got bailed out. The rich and wealthy got taken care of. And black people lost. We lost ground. We lost homes under this man. And he comes out every so often to wag his finger at us and tell us he's not happy. Like that mean anything to me.
And get in line. Get in line. Y'all niggas.
Everybody in this room, have a certain faint, they give a faint aura of zestiness, which I think, it just, they take this. They take this kind of talk. This is why men don't go to church. This is why you lose men on the Democratic Party, because you talk to black men like they're your children, like we're supposed to be your pack animals, like we don't have self-determination and autonomy. And that's not how it works.
Right.
I go to work every day hard to support my family. I'm not going to be talked to by a man who don't have nothing to do with over here. You ain't paying no bills over here. You're not making nothing better. You didn't for the 8 years you were. I keep saying 4 because it was so such a blur of uselessness that it might as well have been. But for the 8 years that I was here, that you was there, you did nothing for Detroit, for Inkster, for black people in Michigan. When you went to Flint, you drunk that water. You didn't fix them pipes. You didn't bail out Detroit. Detroit needed 18 million, and you gave Israel 18 billion, and you gave Israel 30 billion over 10 years. Okay, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from you. This is almost it. Got the nerve to say he ticked off or whatever. I'm ticked off with you. The only consolation I have is in knowing I didn't vote for you. That's the only thing I got. And at the end of the day, that don't bring me no pleasure because you didn't do nothing either way.
That's not acceptable. That's not it. This shouldn't even be a question.
Yeah, man. Since I did find out, so the program is in existence, but I found a good paper, bro. This was written a year after the program. So he created my brother's keeper as a result of what happened to Trayvon Martin. Right. And entire window. I'm sorry, entire screen, first screen, audio.
I'm gonna tell you how quickly I knew he was full of BS. I'm gonna tell you. I knew how quickly he was full of BS. Remember when Skip Gates was coming back from China?
Yeah.
And he was trying to get into his house.
Right.
And he was in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and somebody called the police on him.
Yeah.
And he showed him his ID and he still got arrested. Obama invited him to the White House to have a beer.
Right.
I didn't vote for him, but that's how I know he was full of BS and it wasn't going. His presidency wasn't going to amount to nothing. That's what I knew, and that couldn't have been if he got that was in the summertime. He got elected in January, and that happened in the spring or the summertime
of the first year.
That's how I knew he was full of it.
Mm-hmm. So here's here. There are so this was written. This is a paper that was written. Is this the Brookings Institute? As it says Brookings, I don't know. But this was written by Frederick C. Harris. Was a non-resident senior fellow. It was written back in 2015, October 29th of 20. Shit, going on 9 years ago. There are deep structural issues that continue to plague poor and working class minority youth in America, writes Frederick C. Harris in a new paper. This demographic must navigate failing schools, rapturous criminal justice system, and a society where upward mobility is becoming a challenge for all but the affluent. And young black men in particular are more likely to be the perpetrators and victims of violent crimes, especially in the case of murder. In the light of this harsh reality, on February 27th, 2014, President Barack Obama unveiled My Brother's Keeper, a White House initiative whose purpose is to combat the difficult social conditions facing minority boys and young men in the United States. And so think about this, you know what I mean? Which, on the surface that would be good, but mind you, this was literally the White House's answer to Trayvon Martin, which happened in 2012. So it took 2 years, right? So instead of coming down on the police, and to be fair, they did do that in Ferguson, right? But I didn't see anything being done in relation to how that case was prosecuted against Zimmerman, right? I don't think the federal government brought any. I don't recall. I could be wrong, but I don't recall Zimmerman, having to go to court, because the federal, said, hey, you denied his human rights, right? I'm saying civil rights, right, for what he did.
Right.
That's all. Like, for instance, to give an example, somebody. I'm trying to think. It was on the tip of my tongue. I mean, that's what's going on. There's a case with someone, that's going on right now. The federal government is charging someone saying, hey, look, we're seeing if you went against someone's federal, their human rights, and then the state might come in after that with criminal charges. It's escaping me the current person that they're prosecuting right now for that. Because that's possible. That the feds can do that. In the challenges of my brother's keeper, Harris lauds many of the goals of the White House initiative, while also suggesting it may fall short of its goals given its misplaced emphasis on character building. So basically, you're pretty much trying to say, like, you know what I mean? Especially because this is a response to a killing, because a black young boy was profiled to be in the wrong place at the wrong time when he wasn't in the wrong place at the wrong time. So you respond to, this is what we would call respectability politics, right? That, hey, let's, get you guys functioning. So what, this will not happen as much? You know what I mean? Like that's a weird response. You know what I mean? To an injustice, right? But human capital development, behavior altering strategies will not succeed, Harris argues, unless policies are put in place which dismantle the marginalization of poor and working class minority youth. In fact, says Harris, much of the rhetoric about personal responsibility touted by the President Obama at events, including the unveiling of my Brother's Keeper initiative, does not match reality and only reinforces existing stereotypes about black men, particularly as fathers. Truly overcoming the marginalization of minority youth will require intense public engagement as well as a change in rhetoric, says Harris. He makes several policy recommendations. While marriage has been promoted as a solution to the crisis of black male youth, the focus should be on creating policies that support poor and working class unmarried parents who lack the financial resources affluent families have to provide for their children. Expand educational opportunities for prisoners and ex-offenders and break down barriers that will prevent ex-offenders from successfully obtaining employment. Invigorate the dormant state commissions on the status of black males and collaborate with commissions that are already engaged. Many of the policy changes that my brother keepers hopes to address will have to be tackled on the local and state level. Harris concludes that if my brother's keepers' modest targeted investments remain the same, existing laws and practices that perpetrate the conditions that poor and working class minority youth face will end up counteracting the good works that the initiative is trying to accomplish. So it's not that long, but yeah. So basically, it's like, listen, we're not addressing a lot of these causes. So he has to have a little, something for black males to, like you said. Like you said, what was it? You know what I mean? A program that's meant to be. Well, I guess we can't look at it directly, right? But in essence, it's pretty much like a mentorship program, right? And it was voluntary. This is not. I don't know how much government money, you know what I'm saying, was put into this. What real assets? Like, this is easy to do instead of the hard work. You know what I mean? That requires money. And ML King brought that up. He was like, look, the civil rights stuff, they just had to pass laws. That really didn't cost any money. You know what I mean? But when we started talking about reparations and changing how, the economy, is functioning under this current state of capitalism, right? That's when everybody, Lyndon B. Johnson, all of them got scared and upset. You know what I mean? Because that's going to require real change, real political will, not just, strike of a pen of taking down some racist laws, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? And in essence, that's all we get from the Democrats is, platitudes. Like, for instance, we can, instead of reparations, we got Juneteenth. That's just another example of what we were talking about. How, you can make a holiday, or you can come up with some sort of, mentorship program that's probably going to be privately funded, no real true resources. You can't be accused by the left, because see, the problem with the Democrats, they always, first and foremost, they've lost the white working class, and they've always tried to get them back in some form or fashion. So they are never going to do anything, because they know they lost them when Lyndon B. Johnson signed those string of civil rights bills. Pretty much the white working class base at that point in time, start exiting out of the Democratic Party, you know what I mean, in rapid form, right? And continue to do so all the way into the 70s, 80s, 90s, until what we got today. That's when Clinton comes around, you know what I mean? And basically the Democrats try to outdo the Republicans, right? And being Republicans. They try to be they try to outdo the center right. And they try to outdo the right and the far right, you know what I mean? In every type of way, right? It was the Republicans like Newt Gingrich and all of them that made liberal a bad word. You know what I'm saying? And so they try to do everything outside of that. They, you saying we're socialists and we're communists, you know what I mean? They're gonna be the most business friendly, you know what I mean, capitalist friendly, big donor friendly, type of party. And in essence, they sell out their main constituents. Now the Republicans, on the opposite hand, they freaking go after the fear of whites, you know what I'm saying, the working class poor whites, and they get them on the culture. They try to go for the cultural issues, you know what I mean. So it's got us into this trick bag that we're in, where really nothing ever ultimately changes. Just like I said, things on the fringes or what have you, gives little small gains. Yeah, now you can. We got commercials now on TV where you got mixed race couples and everything like that. You know what I mean? But any substantive thing, like, truthfully setting things on a true economic playing field for the working class, for Black people specifically, things of that nature, that's too much of a hard political lift. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you don't see it happen. And they're not going to do it. They're not going to talk anything specific. You know what I mean? Because it's not within that's not what they want to do. You know what I mean? They'll do some cultural stuff, talk about abortion, blah, 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 this, feel good stuff that really doesn't really, take a lot of money to do or have to do a lot, like I said, a lot of political will to do. That's fine. But the stuff that's hard, man, they ain't touching it, man. They not going to touch it, bro. You know what I mean? So go ahead, Steve. I know I done been on the bully pulpit for a little while.
Okay. Well, I wanted to bring this clip up just to juxtapose. Right. Everybody knows this from the grill. It's a 2-minute clip. I'm not even going to interject in this because we've all seen it. So just for the sake of playing it, then I'm going to show you the one from the debate. Mm-hmm. The response she gave to this question at the debate. It's an NBC video.
Reparations for Black people. Do you support reparations for Black people?
Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination and segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, Black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of Black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects Black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities. And we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No, because whatever benefits that Black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country. Right?
It took a lot out of me. It took a lot for me not to interject. Because everything is just an opportunity campaign for her. You know, nothing specific. And I give her, I forget her name. I forget her name, but I give her credit because she pushed back. She said, so nothing by default. And Kamala Harris want to give you a Black History lecture. We didn't ask you that. She didn't have that. I grew up in the middle class.
Middle class,
yet.
right? Yeah, she didn't have that one yet.
Was 2020. She didn't have that talking point, so that's why she didn't say it. But we didn't ask you to tell us why we deserve reparations. We asked you to tell us if you supported doing it or not. We know what went on. We know what went on. My people was the ones who it happened to. Right. Your people was in India and Jamaica during Jim Crow and during slavery, during the GI Bill. You didn't get over here until the 60s.
Right.
If anything, you are an anchor baby. If anything.
Right.
You was born 2 years before. Was she born? What did I say? She was born in 64 or 62? She might have been born after the Civil Rights Act.
I think 64.
And she was born in October. So depending on when that was signed, she might have been born after the Civil Rights Act was passed. So you don't have any skin in the game at all. You have literally come to this country and benefited.
October 20th, 1964. Let's look at when the Civil Rights Act was passed. It might have been in the fall.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No, it was originally published in July 2nd of 1964.
So you don't have no skin in the game. My parents' birth certificate say Negro on it. You know what I'm saying?
He signed it. He signed it into law on June 10th of 1964. Now that's that's counter. Hold on. He signed it was published on the 20. Okay, I get it. So it was signed into law by Lyndon B. Johnson after a 60-day Senate debate. So yeah, June 2nd, and it was published on June 10th, and it was published on July 2nd. And she was born in October of that year. October.
So here's a question about DACA and illegal immigrants and stuff from the 20. I think this was a debate here in Detroit.
Right. But
I can't be sure. But here's her response to that. Specific program for immigrants, DACA recipients.
Right.
Last month, more than 130,000 migrants were apprehended at the southern border. Many of them are being detained, including small children, in private detention centers in Florida and throughout our country. Most of the candidates on this stage say the conditions at these facilities are abhorrent. On January 20th, 2021, if you are president, what specifically would you do with the thousands of people who try to reach the United States every day and want a better life through asylum?
Immediately on January 20th of 2021, I will, first of all, we cannot forget our DACA recipients, and so I'm going to start there. I will immediately, by executive action, reinstate DACA status and DACA protection to those young people. I will further extend protection for deferral of deportation for their parents and for veterans who we have so many who are undocumented and have served our country and fought for our democracy. I will also immediately put in place a meaningful process for reviewing the cases for asylum. I will release children from cages. I will get rid of the private detention centers. And I will ensure that this microphone that the President of the United States holds in her hand is used in a way that is about reflecting the values of our country and not about locking children up, separating them from their parents. And I have to just say that we have to think about this issue in terms of real people. A mother who pays a coyote to transport her child through their country of origin, through the entire country of Mexico, facing unknown peril to come here. Why would that mother do that? I will tell you. Because she has decided for that child to remain where they are is worse. But what does Donald Trump do? He says, go back to where you came from. That is not reflective of our America and our values, and it's got to end.
So with that being said, before we even go, and guess what? When Biden and Harris became the president, we talked about it last, became the administration. Obviously, her VP and him president. What did they do? They made sure they didn't go back. Like I said, they changed the policy on ER, right? Immediate. I'm sorry. I forgot what the E stood for. Express. You know what I'm saying? Repudiation or whatever it was, and the notice to appear released on your own reconnaissance. They did exactly what she said, and then act like, oh, and then you know what I'm saying? We didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? That's why they came, and that's why they're in the country, because you changed the policy on how they were, and now you don't want to claim, because it's a sour issue, you don't want to own it. Like y'all changed how they were treated.
And look how clearly and full-throatedly
she
has this policy.
Yeah.
When it comes to us, I'm not doing anything on it. How does this benefit the rest of Americans who ain't illegal? How does this benefit any of us who people ain't illegal? Right. Not DACA recipients. This don't even benefit other immigrants who not illegal.
Right.
The thousands of people who come to the border. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. When it comes to black people who built the country for free, beat up, couldn't take advantage of policies that we were entitled to as tax-paying full members of this country, like the GI Bill, our neighborhoods have been redlined so that our home values was trash. And you don't have no answer. I can't do anything just for black people, but you can help illegal immigrants come over here. You got a whole list of things that you can do through executive action. So you talk about not even involving Congress. And then I just have to say this, because I forget, it was so many people in the first Democratic debates in 2020 that they had like 2 debates. You remember?
Yeah.
How did she didn't even do good in that debate with that crowd that she had. Kristen Gillibrand, I can't remember if Eric Swalwell, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, like you were so bad. Mayor Pete, you couldn't, Dean Phillips or whatever, that Michael Bloomberg, like that's how terrible she was. She dropped out before Iowa. And now you about to be president, and everybody want to act surprised. Don't nobody like her,
right?
You couldn't bring Kristen Gillibrand and Amy Klobuchar. You know what I'm saying?
If you could bring up on screen, man, because we want to keep it rolling. What I got, so going back to my brother's keeper, right? I wanted to be fair and cover what their mission was, and so on and so forth. But it's going to illustrate everything. So the mission is we believe communities are the unit of change to realize improved life outcome for boys, young men of color. Research shows that collective work of community leaders, members, public and private agencies pursuing the same goal for boys and young men of color can lead to sustainable place-based change, or what have you. They talk about their approach, but here I want to get into their program. So I look at the programs, right? And now, mind you, remember we thought that this was in response to Trayvon Martin. Programs and scholarships, right? They have a girls' opportunity alliance because I guess they had to make it balanced, right? You know what I mean? Leaders program. Look who's being featured, bro. Look who's being Obama Foundation Leaders Program. Look, like Trayvon Martin got killed, man. George Floyd.
The lady in the middle of Kenya.
Yeah, you use blackmail death. Look at this. Africa, Asia Pacific, Europe, United States. All off, remind you, this came as
no black man been shown since the Chicago Bulls guy at the park playing basketball.
Right. Look at this, bro. Obama Foundation scholars. Okay, here's another one.
That haircut, that tells me something.
Mixed race at the very minimum. Look at this. Meet the 2 and 24 scholars, bro.
Be somebody with a Negro American name.
I haven't seen a freedman quite yet. I haven't seen Jason Coleman. Now that's what
be Caribbean.
That's but look how far down. 1 row, 2 row, 3 rows. We get the first one. Look at this. Look at this, bro. She might be Freeman, maybe. Oh no, not with that last name.
Shoshana. Not with the first name Shoshana.
Shoshana, yeah.
Unless she was
African.
adopted.
Yeah, she was African. Look at this shit, man.
You got more Hispanics on here than you got black people.
Look at this shit, man.
Well, hey, you was fair. You was fair.
Hey, bro. You know what I'm saying? So we seeing who benefited from it. That's all from Trayvon Martin, man. Both of his parents were, you know what I'm saying, a freedman. Mama and daddy. You know, he was mixed or something like that. You know what I mean? But this is what happens, bro. And you know what I'm saying? You know, I wanted to, you know, anyways, we're gonna go into what Lord Jamar says, man. He was on the Godfrey show, and they got into talking about why Lord Jamar would not be voting for Kamala Harris. Let's let me know if you can hear the audio.
And when we say black, we mean American black,
right?
Like living the American experience,
the cultural experience.
American cultural experience. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, she's first generation from people that were, some of her Jamaican, Caribbean people owned slaves and all this type of shit. She had servants.
I gotta.
This one lady that she's pretending to be her fucking grandma.
And we covered this, but hey, I'm gonna, you know, hey, full disclosure. Jamar drink. Lord Jamar was he was lit.
Mother may have been a servant in her own fucking home, and she's passing her off as her grandmother. Oof. That's some foul shit.
Oof. You gotta go on, push back on it.
So here's the thing. It's just like when people say Africans,
and then we always got this, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I love Lord. Huh?
Who is that guy?
He's
that's all I'm listening to.
He's a comedian, I believe. But
the only joke is himself.
Yeah.
Soul slaves to Europeans. Mm-hmm. That is like saying French people sold white people to white people. What it is Africa is a continent. It's not a country. And so when you have Nigerians, you have Ugandans, you had warring tribes that sold other people of other countries, just like French.
They like, this tells you how ignorant people are, bro. They sold inside the tribe as well, bro. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't just, you know, tribal warfare. Obviously, he don't know anything about what was the people who the damn it, man, the Woman King was all based on starts with the homie, right? They created a whole another people, just, you know what I'm saying, because they didn't want to be victims of it. You know what I mean? And they preyed on similar tribes alike. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a totally non-historical, you know, take, but nobody can really talk to it. You know what I'm saying? To really counteract what he's saying. But I want to press on. I really want to cover what Lord Jamar says, though. That shit is hilarious.
That doesn't even mean anything. It means whatever they decide that it means. is you're either white or everything else, and that is where the discrimination
So
starts.
what?
My palm is itching. It's like I feel the super chat when she said, "You better thank a union member."
Yeah, when she does shit like
You
that.
see, hold the fuck up. When you
back
try to play on your fake blackness as a way to try to influence me to fuck with you,
Yep.
when you insult my intelligence like that,
Yeah.
and then when I ask you direct questions in debates, and you fucking you do your best Muhammad Ali, you know, dodging and dipping questions and all this type of shit, fuck you. How about that? Fuck you. I'm not fucking with you.
And
You think I'm fucking stupid.
Then you tell people to put collard greens in the tub. I wash collard greens in the tub.
So did mama.
You think
But
you
I'm
don't,
just saying,
man,
like,
I don't know no black people that do no dirty shit
no,
like
but
that.
I'm saying
sorry.
either way, why is it
In the
collard
tub?
greens? Why are we talking about collard greens?
Because she wanted
Talk
to
about
appeal to
Vindaloo.
your blackness.
Talk about Vindaloo.
Right. Talk about
Sac
7-Eleven. Talk about
non-bread.
Dunkin' Donuts.
So she can't do that because, bro, she don't have no real connection to Jamaican people. I think she went to Jamaica a couple of times in her life. You never hear her talk about no credit to her father, bro. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, at least he birthed you.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? He married your mama. You know what I'm
They had
saying?
a contentious relationship. I think.
But like nothing.
Because she don't never speak about that
She
man,
don't
bro.
speak
He's
about
still
her
alive
daddy
and
at all.
kicking.
This is her connectedness to blackness, and she don't say shit about her pops. She don't say nothing about Jamaica. You don't even see them go to Jamaica. Barely even go to Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? You ever got, normally, like when Obama was freaking, became the president, and we was running for president, they was going to Africa. They was going to Kenya, meeting with his grandmama, meeting with this person, that person, his half brothers and sisters, and this and that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He went to Africa.
Still have people alive in Jamaica. Because it was just her daddy that came over here.
Right. You know what I'm
still
saying?
got to have people alive over there.
The cousin say he come back once a year. He live in Washington State. He live in the United States of America. He ain't in Jamaica. He in the States. He in the States. But your claim to blackness, the one thing that you supposedly is your claim to blackness, your father's side, we don't ever hear nothing about. We don't have you any references to. Nothing.
They don't never go to. Ain't nobody been to Jamaica to interview none of them like they did with Trump.
Bro.
They went to Germany. They went to Germany, to the town where Trump people was from, and interviewed people to ask them how they felt.
Bro, it's just so hypocritical, man. That's just the thing, bro. It's so hypocritical. I'm gonna keep it moving.
Yeah.
Talk about Dunkin' Donuts and all that. Talk about the spelling bee and how we dominate spelling bee.
Exactly.
Talk about
exactly. Kamala.
No Indian music.
You see, that's how you say the fucking name.
Black people.
Hey. That's how you say the fucking name. Kamala. That's how you say our fucking.
All right, y'all. We are back with another video.
My bad. I'm just they're gonna start talking about at some point. They're gonna be getting on about the cats and the dogs. So I wanted to cover that when we got to that point.
I got a video because they talk about how she be using different accents.
Oh yeah.
She was talking to that Hispanic crowd, and she said,
right, yeah, exactly. They get on that too. They get on that too. I'm just trying to fast forward.
She sound like the lady from Family Guy, Consuela, who be cleaning up. No.
Come on now.
And this is why when we say Kamala ain't black.
Okay. Now my internet is acting funny.
Hey, see, I tell you, bro, they don't want us to be successful.
They don't want us to be successful, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've been noticing lately, dog. Like even when I make my post on Facebook, I told you like they slowing up. Like when I make the post, my video post and everything, I think they looking at my shit before I put it up. And then like I I refresh the page to see, okay, because it tell me the notification the video was uploaded. Then when I go to my page, I don't see the video. I'm like, wait up. I'm like, what's going on?
I'm leaning towards Trump.
Okay, so hold on.
I also want to say I received no type of funding or anything like that from Tariq Nasheed. Like people act like, damn, that nigga must be paying you some bread in order to say this and that.
Shit about
like, yo, bro, like again, I just stand on truth. I tell the truth. I'm not one who's here to be co-opted by money and all this type of shit. Ain't nobody paying me to say shit. If I say fuck Kamala, it's because that's how I feel. Like it's not because.
And same thing with us, bro. We not Trump supporters. Now, Lord Jamar gonna later admit that just because he gets bashed because of what he says, you know what I mean, about Kamala, is pushing him towards like a fuck you vote for Trump. And honestly, that's what you're seeing. That's what you're seeing. You're gonna see. I really believe November 5th. I think Trump's gonna have like 20 to 25%, maybe even 30% of black vote, bro, because it's a lot of freaking people that are like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead. You know, the Democrats ain't about shit. They playing in our face. You know what I'm saying? They're playing in our face right now. You know what I mean with what they're doing, right? And then you know what I'm saying? And then you know, you getting called a coon for calling out the truth. And it's, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people aren't like me and you know what I mean? You know, and you know that there's a third party choice, or willing to, you know, say, hey, I'm not gonna vote for either side. I'm not gonna reward Trump, you know, because I'm pissed at the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna vote green, even if, you know, even if it's a very slim chance that, you know, or let's say it's not as a good chance for them to win, but I know that it's gonna record my vote down instead of me just staying on the couch and, you know what I'm saying, and just sitting it out, you know. No, I'm gonna take the time and effort to go vote and make sure it's put down that I voted for the Green Party. You know what I mean? I'm gonna continue to vote for the Green Party. You know what I'm saying? Unless, you know, their platform changes or whatever the case may be, right? And then, you know, but I'm gonna continue to and do for third. I voted for socialist parties. I vote. You know what I mean? I've worker party. I've voted third party for a long time. You know what I'm saying? I've actually voted for like maybe one or two Republicans throughout my life. But you know what I mean? And I voted Democrat. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, like you got to earn the vote. You know what I mean? And it's a tangible thing, man. Nobody owns us, bro. Nobody owns your vote. They have to earn it. You know what I'm saying? And this lesser or evil shit is bullshit. You know what I mean? And then my argument, our argument is that they're the worst evil. You know what I'm saying? I don't view Trump as worse than freaking Kamala, bro. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? I think she's more insidious and more, you know what I mean? The Democrats and her specifically, like I said, her actual record is much way worse than Trump's, as when it comes into what they've done negatively to black people. You know what I mean? So anyways, let's keep on going.
Because
you say fuck
Trump or anybody paid me, like that's what I feel. And have you ever had a woman lead you into a beef? And if you did,
this is hilarious.
Use a pimp. That would not be a smart move, would it, brother? That would not be a smart move to let the woman lead us.
Unless she's the woman
any fucking where.
Now, we don't condone. I'm not condoning that. I don't believe a woman cannot be a leader. And you know what I'm saying?
Support the Green Party if we.
Yeah, exactly. We were, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm voting for a white female Jew. And I'm, you know what I'm saying? And I'm Muslim. You know what I mean? We, you know, so why I'm voting for her? Because she stands for what I believe in. You know what I mean? She's gonna, you know, end genocide. She stands for a platform that believes in reparations, right? She stands on a platform that believes in, you know, stopping, you know, escalating wars. She stands on a platform that's, you know, that's against genocide. You know what I mean? How can you say you be for these things and not vote for the person that unapologetically says that they're for that? How can you vote? You know what I'm saying? How can you? I just don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make sense. You do have an option. She's on the ballot in 47 states, and in the 3 that she's not, you could write that ticket in. You know what I mean? So how with good conscience, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, it's like yeah, man. I just don't get it. But anyway, I'm gonna keep on moving on.
The cats, you know, like
why must I eat the cat?
Maybe they were just eating the cats and not the dogs.
Why must I feel?
So with that's the reason why I brought that up, right? Because, you know, so my man was like, "Oh, come on, man, Trump saying that, you know, the Haitians are eating cats and everything." So here we go, where we have some Haitians in Ohio, right? You know what I'm saying? Literally explain that eating cats, not dogs, but eating cats is a delicacy in Haiti, and that you know what I'm saying, that they do eat cats. Like that's not out of nowhere, out of left field. And people were reporting that the cats were missing. You know what I'm saying? Now the lady that that got on video eating the cat, that was in another town, and she's not Haitian, but them eating cats is real. That's like a real thing.
He's never seen it. But when it comes to cats, that's a very common practice in Haiti.
Wow.
This is his word. Okay. Tell us some more about this, Mitchell. Qui sont qu'a dit nous en ajouter sur ça, des situations où on mange chat ça?
No, get the translations.
Says even there are places in Haiti where you can go and you can go to a store and actually buy the cats. And you can just like you buy chicken wings.
Just like you buy chicken wings.
Wow. So he said that it's a store in Haiti that you can literally go buy a cat.
Well, like I told you, in Europe they call it roof rabbit.
Huh?
Eastern Europe, remember I told you Italy, Eastern Europe, they call it roof rabbit. You know what I'm saying?
How long have we been? Hey, bro, I've known since the time I can remember. Everybody be like, "Yo, I don't eat Chinese." You know what I'm saying? That Chinese food probably some cat and dog in it. You know what I mean? Like
they didn't make it. It was illegal to eat cat in 44 states in the U.S. until either 2016 or 2018. It was legal to eat cat in America. It was legal.
Legal. I mean, it ain't that far from you eating a possum, a raccoon, or something like that. I mean,
or a rabbit.
Or a rabbit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess so. I mean, I'll never know when it comes to eating cat. I'm straight on that. You know what I mean? But
I've had raccoon.
What?
And I've cooked rabbit myself.
I mean, a rabbit. I think
I'm in a hard way. If I'm in a hard way, like they living in Haiti.
Hey, you gotta go. You gotta go for what you gotta go for.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Ain't no chicken around. Hey.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, but if you say this and all of a sudden you a Trumper, you believe in Trump, like, bro, just the facts are the facts are the facts. You know what I'm saying? They were getting wild geese out of the, you know what I'm saying? You saw the picture of a man with a bunch of geese, you know what I mean, around the neck. He
was walking around with them boys like, y'all just got all this
like
out here.
But this is what we're talking about. Like, honestly, like, this is why it's a duopoly, bro. Like, both of them are full of shit. You know what I'm saying? They're going to use half truths, half lies, work on your emotions to get you ginned up in whatever direction towards their side or whatever, all while fucking you in real life in real time. And not telling, you know what I'm saying? All while being all backed by the same donor class, all by, ensuring that corporations and big business are able to get bigger and bigger and bigger, therefore having more power and control over the workers, all making sure that, you know what I'm saying, that we don't have any real collective bargaining or whatever to be able to, increase salaries or what have you, you know what I mean? All to making sure that the real social safety nets, real change that really needs to occur in this country, they you know what I'm saying, they're going to have us distracted with all these social issues, these social, you know what I'm saying, these cultural wars back and forth, and so on and so forth. While the real thing is that the top and the managerial class is going to be okay. You know what I mean? So the managerial class are the politicians, you know what I'm saying? The higher ups, the ones that, you know what I'm saying, they're living in the gated communities that are a little bit less than, you know what I'm saying, what the CEOs get. Much less, but you know what I'm saying, but they got a place for them. There will be if you want to think about a plantation, that's you know what I'm saying, you got the slave owner at the top and his family and his small friends and oligarchy of people, right? Maybe 15, 20 something families that are able to really do it on a big industrial scale. And then you got the middleman, that's the overseers, right? You know what I'm saying? And the slave catchers and all of that, just, to get a real simplistic, understanding. And everybody else is just the slaves, right? You know what I mean? That's pretty much what capitalism is in modern day time. You know what I'm saying? And so when you challenge capitalism, you say, hey, really, this system in and of itself is going to produce this because this is how it is. You know what I mean? If you ever went to business school, you understand what's the purpose of a business is for the shareholders. It's to make money for the shareholders and to do it in the most efficient way possible. you know what I mean? To use the less, you know what I'm saying? The more money to take the most revenue to come in and freaking work the most efficiently with your resources, whether it be labor, fixed labor costs, variable labor costs, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And make a profit for the shareholders. That's the only reason why business exists. Is not to, you know, create, you know, make you know, for society to function and to make sure, you know, everybody's okay. And you know, that might be a side benefit, but that's not the main reason why corporations exist and why business exists. You know what I'm saying? So hey, if we can, you know, cut pay by taking, you know, or making it where it's harder for people to do collective bargainings to increase, you know, to make sure they get more of their freaking money. Think about it. Richard Wolff says it the best, and this channel is called Democracy at Work. Well, what he's talking about is like, we have democracy in every other field of life, damn near almost, except for the workplace. You got a board of directors that, you know, tells a managerial class, the executives, what, you know what I'm saying, what to do, the direction of how the company's going to do, what they're going to produce, who's going to get paid, what, so on and so forth. While the workers who do all of the work that makes sure, you know what I'm saying, that brings in, you know, and spends all the money, they don't get no damn say at all. You know what I mean? No, they don't get to pick what it is. The better way is to have a co-op system, right? A cooperative is where the workers own the company or the field or the place of work collectively, and they have a stake in on what they do and how they operate. They have skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, they're the owners of the business as well as the workers of the business. But you won't see nothing talking about we should make cooperatives and we should function and order our society in that particular way. Why? Because that's a challenge to the current capitalistic corporate system.
Even like trade associations. Trade associations are essentially union organizations for corporations. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, to that point, like, I mean, Martin Luther King talked about that too, where we have what he said, socialism for the wealthy or the rich, and rugged individualism for the poor.
Right.
Or, you know, or rugged capitalism. One of those. He said, but I mean, that's the situation. It's a complete shifting of how things are supposed to be in a ordered society. You have a government. You create society for the intent that the government, you know, in our names, the collective mass of us, will be served through it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
If we have to do all this stuff individually, we don't need a government. If I got to be responsible for paving my own roads, or, you know, paying for my kids to go to school, or making sure that I'm getting a living wage, or any of these things, you don't need. We don't pay taxes just so that we can pay taxes. They're, you know, ostensibly supposed to go to something to benefit the overall quality of life for people in America, and they don't.
Of the people, by the people, for the people. But in reality is of the people, by the managerial class, for the rich. That's the reality. That's the reality, man. Everything is for the rich, for the top percentage. Let's keep it going, because we are definitely over the 2-hour mark. Let me get past them talking about this. It was some fun.
Dogs in other areas.
If all I'm saying is have the same scrutiny.
Here is the thing. Blacks are eating dogs in different places. They move, they migrate. Bro. Okay, what about her spouse? What about her spouse? Does that piss you off?
First of all, let's start there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, please.
The fact that she's not running as Kamala M. Hoff, okay, is fucking deceptive and bullshit. She's running as Harris because she wants to fool us. Her name hang on. Her name is Kamala. Kamala M. Hoff. Her name is Kamala M. Hoff. And the fact that she's trying to call herself Harris is to try to manipulate
like
our mind
black
and
name.
it sound black.
How about this?
Like Tip Harris.
How about this?
Like
Kamala la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be bullshit. La 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 la.
Remember she said that? To twist her neck up and say it like vote for us.
They ain't like us.
She has no fucking intention of doing anything. She said publicly, Oh, I ain't gonna do nothing that specifically benefits black people.
Oh yeah, remember she said that.
And
You
she
remember
has
she
the
said that?
nerve to twist her neck up and say it.
Sinbad the pirate over there is looking hot.
No, I
Looking
ain't
like
gonna do nothing that just
Kazan.
benefit black
Genie.
people. It's gonna benefit all people. But yet she'll now turn around and say, I'm gonna make sure that these laws are passed so that these transgenders in jail can get the fucking the operations they need.
Nobody
and the bitch.
So this is nobody said that, bro. She did say that, man. Like you know,
I'm telling you, she argued for it when she was the Attorney General.
Attorney General, right, man? Kamala Harris. Like people like you can't look this shit up. Like you can look it up.
Yeah, but she most definitely did. She argued for it.
And speaking of Kamala Harris, today our Verify team is taking a closer look at a campaign commercial that focuses on the VP. Our team has been fact-checking the political ads you're seeing right here on TV and on social media. And this one in particular, we've gotten dozens of emails about. The ad claims Harris supports using taxpayer money to pay for sex changes for inmates. Tonight, our Megan Bragg verifies that claim.
We wanted to start out by saying there are two different ads about this topic that are currently running on air. Today, we are only looking at the one that focuses on her beliefs during her presidential campaigns, not her time as Attorney General in California.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex.
No, this is some bullshit. Because wait up, that was what it was when she was. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. We're gonna talk about her time as when she's running for president, but
right. No, you can't.
What are you talking about?
Bro, if she said it, she said it, bro.
But see, even when they said it needs context, whenever you see that in videos, in any kind of mainstream sources, where they say this needs context, what they're telling you is it's inconveniently true for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they got to do something to get it's malinformation. They got to figure some way to tell you to think differently. That's all it is. Whatever they're saying is actually true or false, whichever one is supposed to be.
Stop killing trans women of color. We are hunted.
I know.
Systematically
I know.
hunted. How do we do that?
No, I you're right. And so, but I'm just saying, I want you to be able to talk. That's what I'm saying. It's a number of things. I mean, one.
Hey, listen, hold. So listen, you heard the anger, the disrespect got interrupted, right? But look what she did when it was the Palestinian protesters. Shut up. If you want Trump, just say that, but I'm fucking talking. We talking about some people, women and children fucking dying. See, women and children are fucking dying by the hundreds of thousands. Stop, I'm speaking, but we could talk about some dude that want to put tits on, because most of them don't get their dick cut off, bro. You know what I'm saying? Most of them don't go through trans-op surgery. Most of them don't. They got straight dick and balls and talking about they a woman. You know what I mean? Let's be real about this real shit. Don't even go get their dick cut off, you know what I'm saying, to even act like they women. No, they got, you know what I'm saying? So, but either way, like this is something that's not life-threatening. She had all the time in the world concerned. She was being interrupted, yelled over. I'm gonna let you finish. But listen what she said.
One, there has to be serious consequence and accountability when it happens, which means there needs to be a safe place for the members of our transgender community to go when they have been exposed to that kind of harm. And we know there's not always a safe place. I will tell you, when I was district attorney of San Francisco, it was after the tragedy of Gwen Arahu, Matthew Shepard, and other cases where people were being killed. And what was happening in courtrooms is that if the killer was caught and arrested and charged, in the courtroom, they would offer a defense. It was called the gay or trans panic defense. You remember that? And they'd say, oh, I freaked out, therefore I didn't have the state of mind for which you can convict me of murder. And I saw this happening. So I convened prosecutors from around the country first ever time it ever happened, to come to San Francisco, and we created a whole training on how to defeat the gay trans panic defense. And we brought in...
They make up at most.
It's not this one.
They make up at most 3% of the population, trans people.
Exactly.
She's got a plan that she put forward to help them out. When you at Jamal Truelove, she put him in jail. He got $13 million from the state of California.
Right.
She put him in jail for murder. When it comes to children, specifically for black people,
CNN's
we
Aaron
make up 13, I'm gonna say 13 to 16% of the population.
deep dive.
Nothing. But
on
you
Vice
have
President
these
Kamala
people who
Harris.
make up at most 3%, and you have a whole policy plan set up. You convene process. And see how she always like to talk about swift consequences? I'd never vote for a prosecutor. I don't care.
Yeah, for real. Oh,
This
but
far left
let's
mass
talk about
shocked.
consequences.
But let's get into it, because I you know what I'm saying. Let's go into. But if you said it, you said it. Don't matter when you said it, you said it. You know what I mean?
By some of the Harris 2019 policies. Let's watch.
A K-file investigation has uncovered, meantime, a 2019 questionnaire. And in this questionnaire, Harris laid out some much more liberal stances, among them on immigration. So in 2019, in what K-file found, she said she would cut funding to ICE, writing, quote, "Our immigrant detention system is out of control, and I believe we must end the unfair incarceration of thousands of individuals, families, and children. I was one of the first senators after President Trump was elected to advocate for a decrease in funding to ICE." Well, now, of course, she's touting the Biden administration's executive order to crack down on the border.
Doesn't end there. CNN also uncovered Harris supporting providing gender transitions.
And this is CNN. This ain't no freaking Fox News.
Surgery to
They used
detain
to call CNN, and the Republicans was like the Clinton News Network. You know what I'm saying?
migrants, if they want it, among other policies. Let's watch.
She said on immigration, she made this open-ended pledge to end immigrant detention. She said she supported taxpayer-funded gender transition surgeries for detained migrants. She also said she supported
Taxpayer-funded gender transition surgeries for detained migrants.
detained
She
migrants.
actually said she supported that.
She both wrote and answered in the affirmative when she was asked this.
Oh.
And she said she also supported it for federal prisoners. Now, she also pledged to slash immigration detention by 50%, close all family and private facilities, and decrease funding for ICE, and then to end ICE detainers with local law enforcement.
I mean, these are things that, you know, it would be hard to think that you would come up with taxpayer funding gender transitions for detained migrants, and yet this, as you say, written and verbally. You know, what else, you know, did you find?
Well, let's take a look at her answer here on drugs. She got asked about the question from the ACLU was.
So we definitely know. I know, bro. I listened to a speech where she was giving it at a gay rights thing, where she actually literally said that she was going to patent generic drugs, blah blah blah. Like, I'm wondering if they slashing this. So here's what I want to say. You got. I know, like.
And speaking of Kamala Harris, today.
We wanted to importantly the one that focuses on her beliefs during the campaign platform and the Federal Bureau of Prisons. This claim stems from 2019 when Harris originally ran for president. At the time, she voiced her support for funding transition-related care, including surgery for transgender prison inmates. In 2019, she also filled out this candidate questionnaire from the ACLU. One of the questions asked if, as president, she would use executive authority to ensure transgender people who rely on the state for medical care, including those in prison, would have access to comprehensive treatment associated with gender transition, including all necessary surgical care. As you can see, Harris answered yes. In the U.S., there are more than 2,230 transgender people incarcerated in federal prisons and nearly 5,000 transgender people incarcerated in state.
Mind you, that's all 50 states. And we have the largest population of imprisoned people, and it's less than 5,000 across 50 states and territories. Like that's such a small, minute number. I think we got like over 1 million something people that's locked up at any given time, right?
Yeah, we got 25% of the world's prison population.
Right.
We only have 5% of the world's population and 25% of the world's incarcerated.
But
Black
even so,
men make up like
5,000?
700,000. Black men are like 700,000 people in prison.
Right, 700,000. So we talking about, even with the federal and state, we talking about a population of like less than 8,000 out of like millions.
They're not even 1% of our number.
Right. Like, what are we talking about here?
Prisons. Today, Harris's 2024 presidential platform does not mention gender transition surgeries for prisoners or transgender people at all. It does, however, say she will fight to pass the Equality Act to protect.
But that's not the point about what she's saying now. It's about what she did in the past. She's flip-flopped on a bunch of shit. But to say that she didn't say it, like my man right here said that she didn't say that, and she did. Like, you know what I mean? Of course, she's not saying it now. But she did at one point in time, and in fact, somebody actually got the surgery. One person got the surgery. That's real.
See, and that's the thing. That's the thing about her running the way they did, which we talked about it in the past. So by not having her running the primary, she didn't get vetted for any of her past. Nobody brought this up. You see what I'm saying? So you don't have to worry about this coming up. What they banked on is the media being obsequious, or
which they have,
or antagonistic media not having enough time to pull up this stuff and to vet her. She's obviously not going on Fox News to give any interview. She's not going on, like a Voice of America or something.
Right. She's not going to go on any conservative, any challenging, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So she's not doing any. Yeah. So she's not doing any of that. So you don't have to worry about any of this stuff ever coming up in a way that they hope that is meaningfully impactful negatively on her campaign. That's really what it boils down to.
Said, and the bitch said,
Nobody said that,
and the bitch said, I stand behind Israel unequivocally. I am behind Israel. She would never say nothing like that for black people, my brother. Let's cut the fucking bullshit and stop.
Is it because she can't though? In order to run,
of course she can't.
Listen,
there's
why
laws.
Do we keep giving these? Why do we keep giving these fucking excuses for these people? Is it because she can't? How come she could do it for everybody else, but she can't do it for us?
Because we have no power.
Because black people don't have no power. What black?
But if you don't think you have any power, then why vote for it then? You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the power of the vote,
right,
you don't have the power to organize, then basically you saying we might as well not vote for it then. You know what I mean? Like,
and I'll even take it one step further. If you don't have any power, why are they trying to get us to vote for it in the first place? Right. Why does our vote matter? Why are people beating down the door for us to vote? Just leave us alone.
And if she don't have any power, why are we voting for her if she don't got no power? If she don't have any influence, or she doesn't have any, she's just, she just going into the White House with her hands tied behind her back, going into a fight. So what's the point of sending her out there then? If she ain't gonna fight for us, what's the point?
No matter, because if they say the trans community is like 1% of the population, so that's like 3 million people.
Mm-hmm.
I know 3 million. They said, what did they say? Like 15 million people have crossed the border illegally since their time in office.
Yeah, 15 to 20, something like that. Yep.
So that's 5%. So she's willing to do all this for 6% of the population.
Mm-hmm.
And we, like I said, we between 13 and 16%.
Right. We like 44 million. And if we take out the Caribbeans and the Africans, we probably like at 40 million. You know what I'm saying? 40 million, bro. That's more than, bro, that population is more than countries in Africa, bro. More than countries in Africa. You know what I'm saying? We got the
Canada only got like 30 million people in it.
Yeah, like the only group in the diaspora that's larger than us is freaking Brazil. We're like the third largest. I'm sorry, I think there's one more. There's one more group that's larger than us, but we like the third largest in the Western Hemisphere. Like I said, many of our population is larger than countries in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. But we can't get nothing. We can't get representation because, she's power. We don't got no power. Then if we don't got no power, then why are we voting for it then? Anyways,
like I said, Canada only have 30 million. Canada only have 10% of our population. Right. Australia too.
Black person.
They only got 10% of the U.S. population.
Black person, do you know, doesn't code switch? Doesn't have to code switch. What black person do you know doesn't have
not like that, bro. Not like that, bro.
You got a situation where you
not like that, bro.
Yeah,
not like that.
I'm not voting for a dude whose father was in the KKK.
I don't go around rushing people and start saying, "Hey, how are you doing, my friend? Let's drink some vodka." No. This is a good thing we should do. Like I don't fucking
sounded like Count Chocula, but 1, 2, 3,
fucking Ruski. I'm just
one.
All I'm saying is it's disrespectful. Did you see what she said? My people, yes.
Who said that?
Kamala. She was in front of Spanish people and she said, "I love you too." They said, "We love you, Kamala." She said, "I love you too."
Wait. I'm gonna pull the video up. It's quick. I'm gonna pull it up.
But at least he doesn't sound like.
You said what, bro?
I want to pull that video up of her saying it, since it's her speaking Spanish.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man. And then I want to get to the point where he's talking about.
I love you back. I grew up understanding the children of the community are the children of the community.
Let me just say about Joe Biden. I
love you.
Even in that. Okay, go ahead.
I love you back. I grew up.
Now, why the hell did she say it like that? I love you back.
Hey, look, like, remember when she said the coyote? You know what I mean? When they was on the mother page, the coyote. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? No, that's not how you fucking talk. You know what I'm saying? It's coyote. You know what I mean? Coyote.
I love you back. I love you back, man.
Man, bro, you pandering, man. It's like, come on, man.
You're going to get a tacos and some burritos, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's it. Why would you do that? Are your internet flubbing up, eh?
Yep, I guess so.
I'm telling you, cuz they want us, man. They want us up out of the bank, cuz. I'm telling you.
Towards Trump.
So here we go. That's going to lead us to our next point.
Unless she's the woman.
Any fucking where. Pimp.
So are you neutral right now? Are you independent? What is it?
I'm registered as an independent.
Okay.
As you should.
I wouldn't be lying to you if I wasn't saying that I'm leaning towards Trump. And I'm saying that out loud for the first time.
You're leaning towards Trump.
I'm leaning towards Trump.
They're eating the dogs.
Bro, Haitians do voodoo.
Yeah. Voodoo is not a bad thing.
So, like, I think does he explain why? I think he goes in and he's saying, like, yo, man, because he's like, it's almost like a fuck you protest. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm getting so much heat, because I'm speaking the truth. You know what I mean? And that leads me to this, right? Yeah. Trump still. All right, man. But anyways, that leads me to this, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the result, bro. You know what I mean? Like, like y'all have, like, the Democrats have used us so much, man. This is just a knee-jerk reaction to what's going on.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm starting to see a dangerous increase in Black Trump supporters. And I thought these were outliers, but the way every time I turn around and there's another Black influenceable Black person who is in support of Donald Trump, it's like I'm surrounded. it's like, I'm like, what is going on? Now, I think what happened was that I was into that Fonnie Willis stuff. That's Fonnie Willis stuff that was going on. And I wanted to see how that played out. Now, there is a Black content creator who was explaining all of that, but I didn't want to wait for, her name is I'm Not a Lawyer. I didn't want to wait for her every day because she was covering other stuff, the YSL trial and all that. So I would look up lives while I was at work, and a lot of these people, and I wanted to support Black creators. So I would look for Black people who are covering this, and so many of them are Trump supporters. There are Black Trump supporters everywhere. YouTube, TikTok, everywhere. And I'm like, wait, we were all here 4 years ago. We were all here when the insurrection happened. We were all here. Violent man who can't take criticism. No, we can't do it.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about Barack Hussein Obama, okay, who is sounding the alarm on the fact that Kamala Harris is losing a core demographic that Democrats.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It says G Foreman, so that dude looks. I don't know if he's an immigrant or not, but he's definitely a Trump supporter.
Yeah,
but
I heard he was.
Yeah, the Black conservative. But I mean, he goes into it like
This woman is not Black at all. Okay, she's cosplaying as a Black woman. Okay, I think Rachel Dolezal is blacker than Kamala Harris at this point. She's owed an apology. Okay, because a lot of people say that she's not Black.
we made that point on this show. You know what I'm saying? We made that point on this show, bro. I'm you know what I'm saying, we don't have to go further into it. We already long in the tooth on this. But the point in all of us just hitting these subjects or whatever. We started off with the election, you know what I'm saying, what the polls are saying. They're starting to go towards Trump's direction. We talked about a lot of different things. But this is only aiding in my belief that she's not going to be able to win. You know what I'm saying? I'll be surprised if she gets 60%. I'm gonna be honest. I'll be surprised if she gets 60% of the total Black vote. Period. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro. People ain't going for it anymore. You know what I'm saying? We just people aren't going for it. Again, I think you have to have more political savvy, and I would never say go vote for Trump or what have you. We've argued continuously that we need to get rid of the duopoly. You know what I'm saying? 100%, and back a party like the Greens. Or at least another third party. Shit, I would feel better if you voted for a libertarian over this. You know what I'm saying? Over the Republicans. If you consider, because there's some things in the Green Party, they for abortion and a lot of immigration rights and so on. They for having more open borders as well. So but for me, it's all about reparations. That's my key issue, and also ending our allegiance with Israel and kowtowing to them all the time. Those are my two main ones in this election cycle. Always will be with reparations. So yeah, man. I mean, we see it, man. We see it on on these YouTube streets, and on the streets. You know what I mean? Different people, that we know, that we talk to. You know what I'm saying? I showed you my reactions to my Facebook post, being in criticism to Kamala Harris. Yeah, there were people that pushed back on me, but compared to all the people that were freaking supporting my post, it was a lot more than what were against my post or what have you. Many of them probably are Trump voters. You know what I'm saying? And it could only lead me to believe that come November 5th, man, the Dems are going to be crying. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be crying, and they're going to come up with all the reasons why this happened to them, except for taking accountability. And only until they take accountability and are forced to. I mean, shit, we got to go a couple more election cycles. I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? Until, either A, the Green Party, stands up and it becomes a viable party. You know what I mean? Or B, the Democrats live up to what they so-called give lip service to. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way for me moving forward politically wise. That's the only way I see it. Unless they, you know what I'm saying, they have to recollect, they have to come, to really to true left, true progressive policies, as well as a reparations demand. You know what I mean? Outside of that, you know what I mean? I'm gonna continue to vote the way I vote until, you know, hey, and you know, and that voting is just one part of your life. It's not, you know, it's not the end of the world. And it ain't gonna be the end of the world if Trump gets in there. It ain't gonna be the end of the world, you know what I'm saying, if Kamala gets in there. You know what I'm saying? But what I can say, I feel black people will be definitely further back if we got Kamala Harris in there, because guess what? Just like Obama, it'll be all forgotten. We'll be all back into vibes and this and this and that. The gender war shit is going to even increase more because of her husband. You know what I'm saying? And the divestiture shit is going to even be more of an issue. You know what I mean? Because they'll be, you know, right in the White House, prime with her and her white stepkids and white Jewish husband. The genocide shit, you know what I'm saying, is only going to get worse. You know, you can't reward that type of behavior, man. You know what I'm saying? So if I have to suffer, or you know, and really like, you know, what's it, you know, honestly, I just don't feel like if Trump, you know, I don't want to say suffer, like, but you know, if we have to go through the indignation of Trump being the president again, because that's what it would be. It was the first time. You know what I'm saying? If it happens again, in my wholehearted opinion, you know what I'm saying, I feel like Trump is the president that this country deserves. You know what I mean? like that, you know what I'm saying? Y'all purposely put this motherfucker back in office. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you know, if a Kamala gets in there, you know what I mean? I guess it would be the same as well. But it's like, I feel like black people's issues will be further pressed down. It'll be more of this POC shit. It'll be more of the alphabet community priorities getting put above us. It'll be more of us getting pushed further and further down the priority list. You know what I'm saying? So the only party that we have any true leverage against, you know what I mean, is the Democratic Party. That's the only party we have any leverage against. You know what I'm saying? So you know, it's either we got to use leverage, man. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, like they say, F around and find out, fuck around and find out. So I think, and honestly, the Dems, they've shown us everything possible that they don't, you know what I'm saying? They have disrespected us on so many different levels. How can you just keep on going to that? That's like if you was with a chick and you know, for several years, but she's stepping out on you. She you know what I'm saying, she with your man. She, you know what I'm saying, she effing your man, you know what I mean? She's sleeping with your brothers and cousins and all of that. You know what I'm saying? You know, y'all might got a couple kids together and shit. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, and you keep forgiving her, but she keep going out there fucking around, you know what I'm saying? And you know, not even hiding it from you. You know what I mean? Like, she, you know, she's putting it on blast, letting everybody know. You know what I mean? You know, so, you know, you looking like a duck. You know what I'm saying? You be like, but hey, man, I love her, though. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like, you know, have some self-respect, bro. Like, really? You know what I'm saying? Have some, you know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. And she, you know, and she ain't doing shit. It ain't like, you know, she giving you some ass some of the time. Or, you know what I mean? Or, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like
hold hands in public.
Yeah,
hold hands
you know
in
what
public.
I'm
You can
saying?
take you know,
right?
You can take pictures and put them on
Instagram.
Instagram.
Like, yeah, what about Jay? What about Jay Rocky, man? Fuck that nigga. He gonna be around. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Democrats do to us. That's what the Democrats do with us. You know
Hey, they're
what I
making
mean?
us cucks.
Yeah, that's what they do, bro. You know what I mean? And then you sitting up there, I guess I to make the you could be what? Are you gay? That'd be like, you know, saying, why, you know what I'm saying, you gonna go with, you know, are you gay?
Right,
Or
you going
like,
to Republican. You gonna leave me? Oh,
you
don't really like women,
you must be gay. You must be
like
gay. You don't like women and shit. You know what I'm saying? You a down low brother and shit if you don't stay around for this. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you know, it's not a straight one for one analogy, but you know what I'm saying, you get the drift, bro. Like honestly, man, like, come on, like, dude, sometimes you gotta let shit go. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You gotta lay down your pimp hand, as they.
Well, since you brought that up, it got me to thinking. So we was talking about how, you know, we always end up being the packy move for the Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. And when you looked at that My Brother's Keeper thing, you talked about Trayvon. It's the same situation with that. Right. You had a young black boy get murdered minding his own business, right? Being followed by a guy,
Hispanic.
an adult, a grown man in his
Hispanic dude.
neighborhood.
Right. Wasn't even a white dude. Wasn't even a full white dude. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
A freaking Hispanic white, you know, or whatever they want to call it.
And you take that and you make this whole organization, and it's like 3 black dudes on the whole page, and 2 of them is we sure is African. You know?
Yeah, man. Yeah, dog. It's like, yo, man. Yeah, man. I'm exhausted. I don't got anything else to say, bro. I'm still thinking about that analogy I just made. And hey, if somebody gonna step out on you, hey, it happens to the best of them. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I've cheated and I've been cheated on. You know what I mean? But if I'm sitting up there just like, okay, baby, you know what I mean? Like, come on, you know what I mean?
You sitting there willingly getting played. You getting made like Malcolm said. You a chump. You a chump.
Yeah, man, a chump.
You a chump. You a political chump.
A political chump, man. Like, for real, bro. You gotta be like, nah. Or better yet, like when your kids do something, like, hey, don't eat, don't be. Oh, my son specifically, my son. So my son he wet the bed. You know what I mean? He wets the bed or whatever, and so, I chastise him about it, you know what I'm saying? But we say, hey, listen, you still need to tell us when you wet the bed, right? You know what I mean? So he'll go, because he gets so embarrassed about it, he'll go and literally, man, you will find it much later on, he'll hide the clothes he pissed in, and you know what I'm saying? And we might not find it for a week, 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying? Bro, he's done this shit constantly, man. You know what I mean? He's gotten better with it. He's 10, he's gotten better with it, but one time, man, like, we chastise him, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I had to get him the belt. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen. Like, I said, what happens when you hide your clothes in your pee-pee clothes, your pissy clothes in the laundry? You know what I mean? What happens? You know what I'm saying? You freaking, you know what I mean? The other clothes, we don't find it for days. Them clothes are ruined, bro. You got to watch that, like, or wet it or separate it immediately. He knows, bro. He freaking knows. Like, I go through those. So, when you do this, then what happens? It ain't so much about you peed on yourself. You gotta let us know so we can take care of it. So we're not finding it a month later, and under either buried down deep down in the clothes basket or behind the dresser or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And it was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, what we've had this conversation how many times? You know what I mean? And it's like, I had to whip his ass. You know what I mean? A few times. You know what I'm saying? Like, at some point somebody got to suffer a consequence.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't be constantly like, well, this time, you know what I mean? At some point, bro, you know what I mean? Like, at some point, because if you keep on, you let them keep getting away with it. I remember my mom said, the worst thing that can happen with somebody to do something wrong, they get away with it. That's the worst thing that happened, because now they got permission, you know what I'm saying? Oh, shit, I got away with this shit. And then they just get, it just escalates and keeps on,
and that applies to the government in general,
Exactly.
When you think about the ways that they have abused us as a populace, whether it's the Republicans or the Democrats.
Right.
Giving billions of dollars in aid, engaging in new wars, continually cutting services, continually increasing taxes, the cost of food, not being able to ensure a living wage, not being able to ensure anything like a reasonable health care, nothing. I mean, this is what it looks like. They're doing insider trading of stocks and securities, and we scrounging to get by while they're giving billions of dollars away to foreign countries, and we have a natural disasters here in America, and you giving them people $750. You know what I'm saying? Unpunished, these people will not learn their lessons.
Not only that, they know that, you know what I'm saying? It's not even them learning their lesson. They know you can't they feel like you're not going to do nothing. You're not going to do anything about it. So, you know what I'm saying? So you can hoop and holler all you want. You're not going to do shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what comes out. If there's no political consequence, and you got to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you stuck. So that's why you got to, you know what I'm saying? Like honestly, like for real, we were saying this back in 2019, 2020. The Dems have to lose, because they know they don't believe they're not gonna call your bluff. You know what I'm saying? They like, you know, what you gonna do? Go to the Republicans? You know what I'm saying? Like that, they know you don't have an option. Well, but you do. You do have the option. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? But you know what? We're gonna have to, hey, you know what? Each time you do this shit, it's gonna be exactly the same thing over consistently. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be consistent, bro. You gotta be consistent. I remember when my brother told me this about Bill Parcells, man. He said, hey, look, when it comes to leadership, he's like, you can go, you could go hard. You can start off hard and then go soft, but you can never go soft and then go hard. That ain't how it works. They ain't gonna believe you. You're gonna lose the locker room. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You gotta come in there and say, hey, this is the rules, this is the standard, this is what it is. You know what I mean? And then, you know, and make sure you mean about business. But if you just letting everything go, you know, you lackadaisical, blah, 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 kumbaya, whatever, kumbaya, my lord. Then all of a sudden you want to start tightening it up. I'm gonna look at you like, what? Come on, coach. Yeah, all right, coach, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. This could be in anything, leadership, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Now you want to enforce the standard. And that's how the Democrats treat us. They like, we've been getting away with doing this shit for 60 fucking years. Oh, you know, they gonna come, you know what I'm saying? Where they gonna go? You know what I mean? Until you know what I'm saying? Make them suffer a consequence and make it consistent each and every time. Like, you know, hey, this is the litmus test. You know what I'm saying? At some point, either one or two things gonna happen. Either y'all gonna separate and go your ways, or something's gonna have to come around and we're gonna come to a conclusion. Or, you know what I mean? We're gonna recommence or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? In my opinion, I feel like, hey, you just got to go your separate ways, and then really, you know, we have to force the system to have a third party. You know what I mean? To make third parties viable. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, because I don't think it's in them. I really don't. I don't think it's even remotely in them to change. To be honest with you, and you got to come to that realization at times and be willing to stand on it, bro. Be willing to stand on it.
Like people have said, we got to make the Democratic Party go the way of the Whigs.
Yeah,
and unless you are somebody who really cares about politics and political history and history, you don't know who the Whigs even are. So
right.
That's
right.
That's where we are.
Yeah,
but
yep.
Well, you want to cover anything else, or you
you know, I'm straight, bro. I was going.
I mean, hey, look, we got 17 minutes, making a full 3 hours, bro.
I'm kind of okay. We'll see some of the shenanigans, you know, when okay. So we'll talk about this. Is kind of go into some, you know, her being, you know, because you'll hear the retort that she's the most qualified, blah blah blah. Just like with Barack Obama, right? She deserved this lady is an empty suit, bro. This lady's an empty suit. She needs all this props, favorable coverage, so on and so forth. So, we'll cover. She had. I didn't even know this was going on because I guess this was just targeted to the Latino. Obviously, she's doing her rounds because, you know, Trump is not going to allow her to have a second debate with him. You know what I mean? And, you know, she's sliding in the polls or whatever. So she's doing press, you know, on the podcast press. As we covered in our last show, as well as she's doing these, you know, these town halls. Now, normally speaking, you have when you have a town hall situation, you're answering off the cuff. You have, you know, the people who attend a town hall, which most of the time, those people are heavily freaking, you know, it's not just people off the street. They're choosing who they're going to get, right? But anyways, the opposite is that, hey, you're having town halls. And you know what I'm saying, the people get to ask you questions and you answer them, you know what I mean, just off the cuff of what you know.
Right.
Usually you don't have a teleprompter, you know what I'm saying. That's usually like for if you're giving a speech, right? And you have, you know, so you know, you got certain, you know, because you know, especially doing a lot of them, not everybody's an orator. Not everyone can memorize, you know, speeches are 2-3 pages long, you know what I mean? Where you're giving a monologue, that's a different thing. Versus now, this is a dialogue, two people. Mono meaning one, dio meaning two, right? Latin for two. So she freaking is having a teleprompter answering the questions, and people are freaking, you know what I'm saying? And you know, that's why whenever she goes, it's always like the same thing over and over and over again, because this lady isn't good on her feet, you know what I mean? It's obviously she has to rehearse talking points. because she doesn't have like a lot of political knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, she can't answer correctly. So here's a breakdown of the and I want to get to the main parts. So yeah, this guy's gonna cover it.
You stop sharing the screen.
You can hear, right?
No, you didn't share the screen no more. You took it off. When you stopped the last video you shared, you took it off. So I gotta
I'll be spending the weekend shipping out those Trump books. Happening. Last night, by the way, it's Friday. Okay. I know you guys hate the stupid ad reads building this community. So fun. And yesterday I did one with a private Discord where you can talk directly to me. I know that was a bit of a long one, but I've got to start pushing harder. 20,000 likes. It went, I mean, that's super viral for me. I'm not like a clickbait account on X. And watch this black woman behind her right
Knowing
here.
what that will mean to
Okay.
tap into the ambition and the aspirations that people have, knowing that unlike my opponent, who got handed $400 million on a silver tray
Rolls
and
her
filed
eye.
for bankruptcy 6 times.
She literally rolled her eyes and mouthed the words in the exact cadence as Kamala Harris. If you're just an audio only, there's a black woman sitting behind, I don't know, a lighter skinned woman who's literally rolling her eyes as Kamala Harris is talking and saying the exact thing Kamala is saying at the exact moment she's saying it. What are the possibilities? Is she reading a teleprompter? Well, mainstream media came out today and said that that's not true. Well, then, okay, let's say the mainstream media, CNN, fact checked this and said, well, she wasn't using a teleprompter. Okay, then who is this woman? And why does she have Kamala Harris's speech memorized? And why is she saying it at the exact moment Kamala Harris is? I mean, she literally rolls her eyes and says that. Now, some people said, well, she's reading the teleprompter. She's down there looking, maybe she's looking at a teleprompter. It would be extremely unlikely, I think, because why would a lot of people in the replies, I looked on Twitter and I thought, wow, I must have been missing something.
Unmute. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, exactly. My daughter was crying. The reason why I'm saying that it probably is unlike is a teleprompter because usually the teleprompter is pointed at the person that's talking.
Right.
It would be behind, you know what I'm saying? And so in her position, she's in front, you know what I mean? Teleprompter will be faced towards Kamala Harris, and she's obviously, you know what I'm saying, behind, in front of Kamala Harris, would have been behind the teleprompter. Because it would have benefit the teleprompter to be showing to the audience. It doesn't make sense. So either A, this was recorded multiple times, or she's somebody in the campaign that's helped her, respond to this, right? Is one or two possibilities.
I didn't just catch what I thought I did. There's a lot of people who said, well, Jeremy, she's just reading the teleprompter. Well, why would the teleprompter be facing the crowd? I don't think she was reading the teleprompter. I think this woman wrote the speech, wrote the answers, or is a sit-in, or they had multiple takes and she had already memorized her reply. Like, I wonder if they're like, if that was the third or fourth time Kamala Harris had actually said that, and this woman got tired of the same old reply and trying to pretend like it was an authentic, real reply. We can see
over the last 2 weeks since Hurricane Helene.
You know what I think?
She did.
You know what I think is
did a Mexican
yes
accent
about
on
that?
Telemundo.
First of all, maybe she can read Spanish. I don't know.
What's that, bro?
I said I wonder if she did a Mexican accent on Univision.
All right.
It'd be the first real thing about her. But look what happens when the camera operator notices that it's in the shot. Watch. Someone realizes it. Uh-oh, it's in the shot. It's in the shot. Watch this. Poof, they shut it off. So I can't speak to whether or not this was in Spanish or not. I don't see any
So he goes on to speculate about that. I think these guys are going. I don't want to cover anything else, man. No, we did that. That's that. Yeah. I think I've. Oh, okay. So this is one more thing right here. A lot of people have speculated about these earrings, right? You know what I mean? Is this possibly somebody feeding, her audio through the earrings? Because there's, there are earrings where you can send audio to a person through. And we noticed that she's only wearing these earrings with almost every outfit that she has. I mean, some people do that. Usually most people don't. They wear different earrings.
Most people with money don't.
Yeah, most people with money don't wear the same earring every. So this is where they're saying, hey, she's speaking. She covers her hand over because they were doing a broadcast with FEMA, trying to show that she's presidential and in control of what's going on with the Hurricane Milton thing. And she covers her mouth to cover the mic, and she's like, "Hey, we're doing a live broadcast." Who is she speaking to? So there's speculation on that.
By a river, the Peace River, some of these type of traditional places that could flood. We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, I have a question for you. You mentioned words matter, and I know there's a lot of media following this briefing. So there's
a lot of speculation. Let's look at the comments. I've never seen a person use so many words and say nothing at the same time. She's that annoying classmate who never does the work on the group project and shows up the last day in order to get credit. What a clown. She's out of her league. As a foreigner, I never even imagined that the VP and presidential candidate of America would be someone like this. Wow, she's such a fraud. Biggest scam in America. Yes, a Category 5 hurricane is more dangerous than a Category 4. What a dumb way to phrase that question. Yeah, we laid into it. I don't, I guess they covered the whole thing, and she does more of what she normally does. You know what I'm saying? Word salad, I guess, or whatever the case.
I just feel like the level of incompetence that seems to be coming out of the campaign of hers, it almost seems like intentional at this point. Like, I don't see how people are comfortable knowing that these are the people that are in control right now. What I'm saying? Like, she's the vice president now. Who's ever in charge of her campaign, whatever she's overseeing, whatever they're trying to get her to look like she's overseeing, whatever, she's the vice president right now.
Right. Right.
It's it's really like I said, conspiracy brother, we've talked about it. I almost feel like we're in a simulation or something. I joke about my wife all the time, like, this ain't real. Like, none of this is real, and this is all like the Matrix or something.
Hey man, it's like Westworld, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because I don't understand it. I don't understand why it feels like people are so content to just go through the motions that we go through every day. Like, are people just so distracted? Do more people feel like me and they just don't think they have anyone to talk to about it? So they just I don't understand how we all as a society and a world continue to just keep doing. And nobody ever says, okay, enough is enough. We done. We tired of this. We're not going to war. We're not letting you rape our natural resources. We're not going to let you lie to us. We're not going to let you abuse and exploit us. We're not going to take it anymore. We're going to fight back and, whatever. Like, when do people get to that point? Does that really happen? You know what I'm saying? Or is this all a simulation and like it ain't real? It ain't real no way. None of this is real. It's like some real people somewhere all in a vat. It's like 10 of us real.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because I'm not even one of them like, oh man, Putin ain't gonna respect her. Like, man, you know what? Like honestly, man, I think the foreign policy positions we take and the people we have controlling our military and defense, if you want to, call it defense, I feel like they're so unqualified for the job that it really wouldn't matter who was in charge, because like America just thinks we're gonna be good because we don't believe anybody else has the capability to really stand up to us. It's not, in my opinion, it's not rooted in reality. It's just like American hubris, it's Western, elitism. But like, I just feel like it don't matter. Let's say she's not the worst president we ever have if she win. Let's say she's not the worst.
Right.
If she win. Who they got down the pipeline that look better? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody in the batter's box. There's nobody on deck. I mean, there's nobody on deck.
There's no relief pitchers, huh?
No. Ain't nobody in the bullpen warming up.
The depth chart is real weak on this.
It's just we on the third backup, and he limping, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. We over. We done.
All we got is Tatum Hill.
We calling. What was his name? Kevin Smith off his couch. Come be running back again. You know what I'm saying? Mikael LaShore and everybody else we had messed up. We got to call Kevin Smith.
Ain't y'all on your third? Are y'all? Is Michigan on their third quarterback?
Yeah.
I was like, well, I thought I heard that on 97.1. I was like, what? They on their third one?
Hey. And I mean, that's what I'm saying, bro. This is the country. That's the country. That's how the country will. The country's on their third quarterback, and we ain't had no good ones. And we on our third one.
Right.
We didn't have no good ones, bro.
What's the saying? If you have to have two quarterbacks, that means you don't got one at all.
Right. Hey, and we done showed up with three. You see what I'm saying? But that's where the country is, bro.
Yeah.
That's where the country is. It's like, what are we gonna do? What are we actually gonna do, bro? Forget all this. Oh, she's a woman. Putin ain't gonna take her serious, and all these dictators. Forget all that. Forget all that. That's irrelevant. I'm just talking about the level of legitimate competency. Because if the figurehead doesn't really matter, who's really calling the shots? Now, the fact that Biden has been here, Kamala and them is running in the background. She's not running nothing in the background.
Yeah.
She worse than he is because he got an excuse. He got dementia or whatever.
Right.
She's only 60. What's her excuse?
Right.
Who's in charge? And why aren't more people upset and worried about who's in charge?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, bro, I don't know.
We hit the 3-hour mark.
Yeah.
Damn, it ain't no good football either to watch.
What is it? What day is it? It's
Friday. It's Northwestern at Maryland. Maybe they got UNLV against Utah State. Utah number 16. Utah against Arizona State. I don't know. Is Arizona State any good? Or?
I don't know. I just assume not.
Maybe that Northwestern Maryland game might be something to watch. Didn't UNLV beat somebody? Didn't UNLV just beat somebody recently or something?
Man, I know they just got beat.
me check on UNLV. What's their record?
4-1. They lost to Syracuse. They beat Fresno 59-14. They beat Kansas.
Who UNLV?
Yeah, they beat Kansas. Yeah.
Yep. So University of Houston, Utah, Kansas. Yeah. Took an L to Syracuse. Okay. Fresno State.
Man, Kansas is trash this year.
Yeah, looks like.
Well, yeah, man, it's just like I don't know. You just have to kind of like pour into your kids more when you, at least for me, when I feel like this, I just try to pour into my kids more because you get wrapped up in thinking about all this stuff and you don't see no brighter side to none of it. It's just like it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. It's going to get worse. And like I said, it ain't because she's a woman. It ain't because it doesn't matter who wins out of the two major parties because essentially they have the same foreign policy.
Yep. Same economic policy.
They just talk a different game, but they have the same objectives.
Yep. It's gonna be a shit show nonetheless.
And the people gonna suffer. So with that, folks. on that cheery note. Right. On that cheery note.
Right. Hey.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And we hope, I don't know, we hope you was informed because you couldn't be You couldn't be inspired, but you could be informed.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe you could be inspired to do something I can't think of. Leave a comment. Leave a like.
Yeah.
If you
share, and subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Peace and reparations.
Peace and reparations.